inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Let this light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside, yeah. Inside, inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the future, and life. Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of a new day bring understanding and love. Oh, inside, inside, yeah. Inside, inside, bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow,
I hope we're keeping
the
well.
promise, the future, and life. Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world, whole world. Light, let the dawn of
Stan,
a
good
new
evening.
day
Mila for
bring
Christ. Wow.
understanding and love.
How are you?
Oh, inside,
Okay, good evening.
inside, yeah.
Good evening. I hope we are keeping well. Mila, how are you? How are things going? I hope all is well. And how is D-Day? Has it gone by? I'm trying to remember if I remember the date now. Good evening. Where are you joining from? I'd love to know. Marianne Eugene, good evening. Where are you joining from? Please let me know. Use the chat. Tell me where you're joining from tonight. I hope we're keeping well. Happy Thursday to us. It's the new month of June, gradually crawling by as well. 4 days already. Favor, Grace, I see you. Good evening. I hope you are keeping well. Thank you so much for joining. Please help me share this live. Invite your friends, your followers. Let them be part of our talk today. Very crucial one, especially those who are married, those who are planning to go into marriage, you know, in sort of some relationship really that you think might end in a marriage relationship. Let us invite them, let them be part of our talk today on Insight with FunmiRoyal. Good evening, everyone. Once again, happy new month of June. Pastor Josh, I see you. Queen Clark, welcome. I hope we are keeping well. Teresa, I see you. Good evening. Yes, let me know where you're joining from this evening. Let's know where everyone is joining from. I'm joining from United Kingdom myself. I hope we are keeping well. How is June treating us so far? So far, so good? Yes, thank you so much for joining in. An interesting topic today, but crucial and a bit sensitive as well. So we're going to be very mindful of today. However, we still need to reflect and think deep about this. If it's affecting us and we have not even figured it out, that this is what is the problem. Oladipo Martins, good evening. I hope we're keeping well. Thank you for joining in. Yes, I'm encouraging them. TikTok says to encourage viewers to share the live and invite more friends. So please, yes, let us share. Discussing relationships for couples. Yes, that's what we do today on Insight. Senior Bishop, I see you. Good evening. Thanks for joining. Please help me share. Today we'll talk about marriage relationship topics or issues that may be affecting our marriage relationship. And as I always say here, God is the orchestrator of the marriage institution. And we always have to go back to His Word, to guide us, to help us, to lead us. Helena, good evening. And sometimes we may have to seek counsel. You can seek Christian couples counseling. You can seek secular counseling. It depends on what the issues in your marriages are. I mean, there's so many kinds of therapy for married folks. So please feel free to explore if you need it. There is no shame in seeking counseling as well, just so you know. And thank you so much, Senior Bishop, for liking the live. Please, you know what? The fastest way to send to your friends is if you click down on the screen for about 3-4 seconds. Click down on your screen and hold it down. Thank you for the follow. Let me see if I can quickly follow you back. Oh, sorry, I'm sending an invite. Okay, sorry, not yet. Not quite. I'm sorry.
I do talk to him and I'll say, see, I'm running on the lawn.
Oh, come on.
Very proud of yourself.
Sorry about that. So let me not open the box now actually. Let's leave it for later. I don't know what's happening now. Love is light that's within me, shine to the whole world. Yes, I don't want to even leave the box there for now. Martins are apologies. I always give my talk first and then invite people into the box and then we'll talk some more. I'm even trying to switch now, but let's see boxes. Request management, followers, everyone, accept request, allow hosting invites. I think sometimes they cannot update, and if you don't keep up with the update on here, okay. I'm even trying to remove my box. Oh, it's not giving me that option. Okay, so maybe when people drop. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's the one. Thank you. So yeah, we'll leave it like this for now. Apologies. After the talk, I'm gonna bring us up. So we talk more about this topic. We'll rub minds some more. Lala, good evening. How are you? Happy June to you. Help me share this live. Invite your friends. I'm gonna go into the talk because it's a bit lengthy and it's a sensitive one as well. Oh, you can't hear me. Is that you only, Senior? Lala, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up before I start talking now, because it's very important. Bishop, it's only yours I can see. Lala, thank you for joining back. Please, Lala, do me a big favor. Can you hear me? If not, I might have to log off and come back in again. But yes, you can hear me. Is it clear enough? Because I'm on the highest volume. No, sorry, I can hear you now. Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, we all have to kind of adjust our settings. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lala. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the talk, but before then, like I said, please go on my bio and see, my profile. This topic today is somewhat sensitive, and if it's triggering for you, any aspect that you really love to talk about, please, this one I would say do DM me if you need to talk about this. We'll just have to work out a fun time, to talk about these things, because I do understand the impact it can have on individuals. And regardless, you're a woman, you're a man, we've all got traumas we may have to deal with in order to start enjoying our marriage relationships. So we're looking at unresolved trauma in marriage. And I mean, it's a broad topic. That's why I always like to give the talk, so that we see the perspective we have to focus on today. Otherwise, it's so broad, we may not get the essence of the topic. Again, it's a sensitive nature by topic. If it's triggering for you and you need a space to process certain things, please feel free to reach out to me. So I'm going to go into the talk now. Like I said, God is the orchestrator of marriage institution, and his plan for marriage is good. However, from time to time, people who engage in the marriage relationship, they cannot start off well. And as the year goes by, a lot of issues of life, family, culture, relocation, trauma, unresolved trauma, and all sorts tend to start playing in there. And if it's not well managed, it can actually bring the couple way apart. We don't want that. I mean, if God wanted marriage to always end in divorce, I don't think he would have created that. However, you and I, husbands and wives, they have a lot of work to do. And I always say marriage is not for lily-livered men and women. Marriage is hard work. And marriage is, thorns with a bed of roses. So all of that, triple T's, I see you. Oh, I hope you are good. Thank you for joining in tonight. Please help me share this live. Let us reason together. So God created this institution for so many reasons, which I'm not even going to talk about much today, but maybe in and out as I give my talk. Titi Tokpe, I see you. Good evening. Thanks for joining. Please help me share this live as you're joining. Share to your friends, the married ones, the one aspiring to get married someday. Let them be part of this crucial talk. Duchess Blooms, I see you. So today's topic is a very important one, very deeply important, yet often overlooked in many relationships. Unresolved trauma in marriage. Like I said, if it's triggering for you, please do reach out if you want to talk about one or two things, just to have a bit of clarity and find a better way moving forward. Big Bad Bosch, I see you. Good evening. So please do reach out to me. Marriage brings two people with different backgrounds, experiences, personalities, strengths, weaknesses, and all of that. So while couples often enter marriage with high hopes, I mean, it's a good thing, dreams and expectations of companionship, they also bring something less visible: their emotional wounds, painful experiences, disappointments, and unresolved traumas. Tendency is, whether you're the man or you're the woman, you're bringing some aspect of this into your marriage relationship. Patrick A, I see you. Good evening. Please help me share this live to your friends. So trauma that is not acknowledged, understood, or healed can affect communication, trust, intimacy, conflict resolution, parenting, and overall marital satisfaction. F10, I see you. Yafi Moturayo, I want to believe. Good evening to you. Olajide 1, good evening. Thanks for joining in. Heaven Baby, I see you. Thank you for coming back, Mila, for Christ. So, in many cases, couples struggle not because they do not love each other, but because they are responding to wounds that were never, ever properly addressed. Alberta, good evening. So, understanding unresolved trauma is therefore essential for building healthier marriages and stronger families. Beam and Beam, I see you. Good evening. Thanks for joining. So let's break it down some more. Hey, What is trauma? What is trauma? Trauma is an emotional, psychological, or physical response to deeply distressing or disturbing experiences that overwhelm a person's ability to cope. I'm still going to break it down further so we understand. Trauma can result from childhood abuse or neglect. Trauma can come from domestic violence, whether experienced growing up, in terms of your childhood days, parents and family and all of those dynamics. Trauma can result from sexual abuse. A lot of maybe people my age, a bit older, they come out and say, when they were much younger, teenage years, they were sexually abused by a relative or something. There's all sort of news out there. If you go on YouTube, you can see some of those real life experiences being shared by people maybe decades after the sexual abuse had taken place. Oluwabumi, oh, Disu, I see you. Good evening. My dear cousin, I hope you're okay. I hope you're keeping well. Happy June to you, actually, and happy Thursday. Welcome. So, other trauma can result from loss of a loved one, whether from childhood days, a best friend, a family relative, all sorts. Trauma can come from that, especially when you don't have closure, or sometimes, some family members, they're just lost, so to say. Nobody knows their whereabouts. You don't know whether they're dead, whether they're alive. You don't even know nothing about them. It's like they just vanished the surface of the earth. So how do you mourn such? That could be traumatic for some people, and they carry this for years and years, and they bring this into their marriage relationship. Cash Kid Life, I see you, Susan. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining in today. And again, trauma can result from abandonment, even as early as a child. Some children, their parents give birth to loads of them. They can't cope anymore. They just go and throw them somewhere in the marketplace and just abandon them. God help them. Any good Samaritan picks them up, takes them to an orphanage, or decides to look after them, and they're never really in touch again. So they feel abandoned. And at the back of their mind somewhere, no matter how good whoever it is looking after them, there's this hole that is always ever going to be there. And if they don't deal with it properly, they're going to bring that into their marriage relationship. And tendency is this might affect the way they think, the reason they trust, and all of those things. Again, trauma can be from divorce of parents, going back and forth parents. Sometimes both of them don't even want you around. You just feel lost somehow. And this can be traumatic for any child growing up in such an environment. Sometimes trauma could be from bullying, maybe from peer, from family member even, and sometimes trauma can be from serious illness. I've had client who says, oh, their parents died a decade ago and they still can't get over it because they died of cancer or they died of something really traumatic for them, and they finally had to find closure to moving on with their lives. So all of these things are traumas that people tend to go through in life. Accidents, betrayal, financial hardship, emotional rejection as well. Ampofo, I see you. Good evening. Spiritual abuse, even previous toxic relationships. All of this can bring about some sort of trauma, and if it's not dealt with properly and you go into that marriage relationship, tendency is it's going to affect the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you behave towards your spouse. So not everyone responds to difficult experiences the same way. True, no doubt. What may be traumatic for one person may not have the same effect on another, which is true. So the key is trauma often leaves emotional scars that continue to influence behavior even long after the original event has passed. I know of, there's so many examples coming to mind, but let me just go with the notes so that I don't, because it's a lengthy one, like I said, but I try to, speed up and expand as much as possible. So what does unresolved trauma mean? Let me see this. Brit from California. That's all I can see on my screen. I'm sorry. Brit from California. maybe California, I don't know, but good evening. Thanks for joining in. I hope you're keeping well. So what does unresolved trauma actually mean? Unresolved trauma refers to painful experiences that have not been properly processed, healed, or integrated into a person's life. So instead of healing, the pain remains hidden beneath the surface. It's there. It's not going away because it has not been addressed, but healing needs to take place such that you can see life from a different perspective. So a person may believe they have, kind of moved on. Yeah, it's gone. But trauma may still appear through anxiety, through fear, anger, emotional withdrawal, hypervigilance, like, low self-esteem, depression sometimes, difficulty with intimacy if you're in that marriage relationship, and sometimes controlling behavior. So in marriage, these symptoms often emerge in unexpected ways. I remembered a friend, sharing many years ago when we were in our 20s, of another friend. I mean, they've been planning their marriage, wedding plans, and all of that. And unfortunately, one of the days, the armed robbers came and attacked, and this person was raped. RAPE. Let me not say that too much. And this is a person who was meant to get married in like a couple of weeks, and this traumatic event happened, and this person, felt their husband to be was not going to be interested anymore. They went through a bit of counseling because it was 2 weeks to the wedding, and a lot really happened after that incident. But just few days to the wedding, the man said he couldn't go on with it. And the reason why they found out eventually, he said, what if she got pregnant in the process, or what if they've transferred whatever onto her, and all of that. And it was really bad, and you can imagine how this woman was feeling. So that was trauma. And then the wedding was called off, and it took her the longest time to even think of having another relationship, or even going near anyone at that. It took a lot of counseling, a lot of prayers, a lot of deliverances, mind, body, soul. So sometimes this trauma, imagine after maybe a few years, they decide to still go into a relationship. And of course, these are things sometimes you don't even want to talk about. Would they be bold enough to share that experience, that traumatic experience, with a new partner? And is the new partner going to be open enough? The fear might be there, and all of that. So different kind of trauma can be brought into a marriage relationship, especially when they have been buried, and left to just be there. It hasn't gone away, but it's going to impact how you live life moving forward. Ode Emilia, I see you stand. Good evening. Thanks for joining. So how unresolved trauma affects a marriage? Let's look at that. First, it is trust issues. Trust issues. So one of the most common effects of unresolved trauma is difficulty trusting others. Nevertheless 04. Nevertheless 04. What a name. Good evening. Thanks for joining. Elder Kenneth, I see you. Good evening. So, thank you for the heart to me. A spouse who has experienced betrayal, abandonment, or abuse may struggle to believe that their partner genuinely loves them. Even if they believe, this person loves me, it's probably going to be like 60%. They will not believe 100% that this person loves them. Hi, my darling sister. Good. I think you're a sister as well. Nevertheless, good evening to you. I hope you're keeping well. Please let me know where you're joining from tonight. Thank you so much for stopping by. So, these people, because of lack of trust or trust issues, they may constantly seek reassurance, and then you might feel, why are you so insecure and all of that. No, it's because of the unresolved trauma that they're still carrying. They're not healed from it. They're still, it's still there, very much so, because nothing has been done about it. Leslie, good evening. Thanks for joining. Manisha, good evening to you. They may become suspicious without evidence because, they've been betrayed before in the past. Maybe it's no reason for betrayal, has nothing to do with them. They were just betrayed. Good evening. Good evening. Thanks for joining, Leslie. Again, they may fear being abandoned again if it's happened before, that trauma of being abandoned. So the way they're always on edge with their partner, like, hey, if they do anything wrong, hey, they're going to leave me. So they're always at their beck and call. They're always, doing stuff to please them, even though they might not be happy. So these are what trauma can actually do to a person who's brought it into that relationship. Again, interpret innocent actions as threat. That person, something happens for whatever reason, for a whole maybe 7 hours you couldn't get in touch with them. Maybe the phone battery died or somebody stole their phone or something, and then you just feel, oh my goodness, this person, they've not responded to like 10, I bet it's 100 missed calls at this time. And you just feel, oh, have they abandoned you? That is the trauma making you believe all of these things, even the fact that there was no threat at all. So this can create tension and frustration in relationship. If your partner is constantly having to say to you, look, I'm not going anywhere, I'm here with you, this is a long ride for us, we're going to do life together, any little thing you just feel, they're going to leave you, and you're just on edge all the time. If you're like that, you're not going to enjoy that marriage to the fullest. So we need to pay attention to this if that is the situation. So the spouse is not necessarily reacting to the present situation because the spouse, they've not given you any reason to think that way. But the fact that unresolved trauma is still what is, playing on your mind. So they may be reacting to past pain, not necessarily what is happening in their current relationship. Another way it can affect, unresolved trauma can affect marriage is communication problems. Oh, most definitely. Trauma affects how people communicate. Some individuals become very defensive at the slightest criticism because past experiences taught them that criticism leads to rejection or humiliation, and this is how their mind is grasping any sort of criticism, and it's not allowing them to be open-minded enough. They're always defensive, like, before you even say Jack Robinson, they are like there with all the weapons trying to, because of the effect of past trauma. Others may shut down emotionally without realizing due to whatever trauma they've been through. They avoid difficult conversations. They don't want to talk about it. When it gets too deep, if you see the back of them, they don't want to discuss anything too deep because that was what led to their break. The first relationship, they were so in love and all of that, and they just avoid any kind of difficult conversation. They become excessively argumentative because once upon a time they were quiet, and this person rode all over them, took them for granted, took advantage of them, and now they're like, look, I'm in this relationship, I am going to fight for me and all of that. Meanwhile, this person wasn't the one that treated you that way, or that brought the trauma to you, that sometimes struggle to express their feelings because of unresolved trauma. Maybe they've expressed feelings in past relationships and it wasn't handled well. Their vulnerabilities, they were not handled well, and it became quite traumatic, and they just feel, oh my goodness, after breaking up with this person, no. And now any ounce of the sight of that, they're like, oh, I'm not going to tell this person what I'm feeling, I'm not going to share or whatever. These are traumas that are unresolved from past experiences. So healthy communication becomes difficult when old wounds influence your present interactions. Therefore, and how best to resolve all of these things we're mentioning is through open and honest communication, most especially with yourself, the one carrying the unresolved trauma. Again, it brings about emotional distance. Marriage thrives on emotional connection. However, trauma often teaches people that vulnerability is dangerous. So they have this at the back of their mind going into that marriage relationship. As a result, they may build emotional wall. I won't let them come too close so that when they decide to go away, I will not feel it too deep. You know the way the mind plays on somebody if care is not taken. They avoid sharing their true feelings. Because why? They don't want any emotional disappointment, any emotional trauma. They haven't gotten even over the ones they're carrying and all of that. So they need to be mindful. So they build that emotional wall. They avoid sharing their true feelings. They fear intimacy because they know that when they are, that intimate, they might let down. They just want to be on guard all the time. They keep their spouse at a distance because they are afraid of emotional trauma that may come from whatever life throws at them. But it's not really the person they're with, it's from wherever they're coming from. So this emotional disconnect can leave both partners feeling lonely even while living under the same roof. As I talk, like I say, let us reflect because no matter how many years you've been married, sometimes, like I said earlier, these things can be buried deep down. Nobody's touching it, but then it's guiding or guarding how you're living life with your partner without you realizing it sometimes. Again, conflict escalation. Many marital conflicts are not merely about the issue of being discussed. A disagreement about finances, chores, or parenting may trigger deeper wounds. Everything is fine, everything is okay. You just got married, life is good, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, everybody working, doing, and all of a sudden, maybe something happened. And then you really have to look at your finances, or it could be parenting or something, or maybe one of the spouse says something or said something to the child, a very young child, and it just triggers memories, it triggers experiences, it just triggers, and then you can't even express how whatever that has triggered for you, you just become this angry person, you just become this harsh person all of a sudden, and your spouse is wondering what on earth has happened. And then sometimes, you might not pay attention, you just find out that ever since that day we went out to family, whatever, I don't know, since that day you've not been yourself, because it was that day that thing was triggered in them, even though you've been married for 3 years. That is how deep this can be. Again, I'm going to say, if anything's triggering for you and you need a space to, explore this or process this, please do reach out to me after this live. I just put that out there as well. So an example is a simple disagreement may trigger feelings of rejection. Very simple. I mean, you've had even complex ones, but this particular one just went and touched something hidden deep within that person, and you just find out that all of a sudden they're withdrawing to themselves. They feel rejection all of a sudden. Their body language, even their mannerisms and all of that, it just shows like someone who's rejected, and they're isolating themselves from that, even though they know they still have to be in that marriage and they don't want to talk about it. Corpus Caribbean, I see you. So let's be mindful. Another one is constructive feedback may trigger memories of criticism. I mean, for a number of us who grew up in criticism, that is not good enough. You can do better, even though you're the top of the class. Parents, guardians, they will tell you that is not good enough. I needed you to get 100%. Meanwhile, you got 98%. And imagine, and the ones that your friends who got 50%, see the way their parents are celebrating them. And for you, your best is never good enough because of all this criticism to be like, you just have to be the best of the best of the best. And then this can trigger for you. Maybe one time somebody just said, oh, that's not good enough. And they don't even mean it like the trauma you've been through. And it just trigger for you. You might even lash back if care is not taken. You might really lash back, and that may even cost you your job or whatever it is. So constructive feedback may actually trigger memories of criticism when you have unresolved trauma that you have brought into the marriage. So again, temporary separation during an argument may trigger abandonment fears. Maybe your spouse is the one that when things get heated up, they will leave the space. You know, they'll just walk away just to cool off and all of that without saying anything. They just want to get out of that space and cool off. And bam, it just triggers for you. Oh my God, this person wants to leave me. You've been married for donkey years, and that still is what comes to you. First thing, your spouse decides to walk away from the heated argument. But is that really the case? Or you still have not dealt with the unresolved trauma you have brought into that marriage? So the emotional reaction often becomes larger than the current situation warrants. You just find that the spouse is wondering, I only stepped out, you know, and then they're panicking, or they're like, oh my God, my chest is hurting, you know, because you're thinking, your body is reacting, and then you're behaving in that way. So there's a whole lot of process to it. It's not going to be automatic. Unresolved trauma to get over or to deal with, it's a gradual process. But the main key thing is for you to even identify that this is an unresolved trauma that you need to work at or work on. Again, difficulty with intimacy is one, again, that affects marriage when you're talking about unresolved trauma. So trauma can significantly affect physical and emotional intimacy. Individuals who have experienced abuse, violation, rejection, or humiliation may struggle with physical affection. Some people never even end up, you know, getting married. Some they struggle with sexual intimacy in their marriage. Some struggle with emotional closeness in their marriage. Some they struggle with vulnerability in their marriage because it's a no-no. It triggers for them whatever it is they're bringing from their past relationship or past experiences. Olatunji or Shofoduri, I see you. Thank you so much for the follow. Let me just follow right back. Oh, this thing has started again. I don't know. So just a second. Thank you so much for liking the live. I don't know what it is. Excuse me. So all of these things I've mentioned, I mean, without understanding the underlying trauma, spouses may interpret these things or these struggles as lack of love or attraction, but not realizing that they need to deal with all of this instead of projecting it onto their spouse. Again, another one is parenting challenges. Unresolved trauma often affects parenting styles. I have mine, to be honest with you. Some individuals become overly protective because they fear children will experience similar pain. For example, for me, I don't like boarding school for anything because of my childhood trauma. Oh my God, I think I'm being triggered right now. I don't like it. So it's one of the things, I don't know whether we even talked about it before we started having children. But I said to my husband, I don't want no child of mine going to boarding school. Of course, we live in the UK. I mean, boarding school in UK and Nigeria, I don't think they're the same. But I just felt, anywhere in the world, though, I don't want my children in boarding school. No, in fact, if anybody says, don't worry for me, I'll pay for it. No, I don't want my child in boarding school. I want to know my children. I want them to grow up in my presence. I've got 4 of them. I want to be able to know each one of them. No. Not that they'll be coming home for holiday and going away. Are they? No. You know, and coupled with other bits that I don't even want to talk about here. So, anything, if I call my husband to come and tell you, I will tell you that this much doesn't like children in boarding school for whatever reason. Please, I'm not against boarding school. But for me personally, no. And truly, I mean, my last is in college. Nobody has ever gone to any boarding school. To God be that glory. Because of my own childhood trauma, you know, my experience in a boarding school, I just feel like, no, my children cannot go through that. No way. I don't want my children to go through that. So, no boarding school. Let them be day students. They come home, I see them, they're okay, go back, and you know, oh, God has been faithful anyway. or you get what I mean. So those are kind of traumas that even when you have the ability, capability, and all of that, you know, as I'm like, I don't want that for me. So you get overly protective because the fear that children would experience similar pain. So you don't like me, you don't like me, I hate it. Okay. Oh, you, I went to, Leslie, I went to boarding school and it damaged me emotionally. So, well, yours is emotional damage. Mine is emotional, psychological. In fact, what other logical you can think of? Hey, please. Abandonment. Guys, the list is endless. Don't let me even go there. Baby Pink, thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Yes, please, let's tap. Emanuela, I see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, please, people, let me be calm like this. I always say to you that the fact that I'm talking about these things does not mean I am one guru. Hey, I am as human as you are yourself. I've been through certain things, you know, and it just gives me the boldness to come and talk about it. And I mean, thank God I can relate to a lot of topics the Lord has given me to treat here. So I'm not here to come and throw things at us. Even I still have my own struggles. I have my own challenges. We're all human, but we're trying our best to, you know, be better. And that's why I always say, let us reflect. Let us reason together, challenge one another to being better. So others may become emotionally distant because they never learned healthy emotional connection. I shared that before. The first time I was out and about and somebody hugged me, I pushed them off. Like, what on earth? Why? Because at home, who hugs who? Nobody hugs. I just felt, this person, And then it was later that day I was reflecting, and I mean, everybody there looked at me funny, but I'm like, I'm not used to hugging like Azao, you know? And I thought about it, I'm like, and I saw that other people were hugging and it was natural, it was everybody hugging. And I thought deep about it. I'm like, oh my God, this is common to these people, obviously. Nobody did what I did, you know, like, I'm like, hug me. Why would you hug me? Like you're just meeting somebody, hello, hug. Hey, no. So you can imagine the trauma growing up because I wasn't used to that. So if your husband or wife is not hugging too much, you'll be like, take it easy. You're not used to it, except you've worked on it. You're the one now who is a hugger, you know, that you have overcome, that you have healed from. So, but does it happen all the time like that? No, really. Some people for years and years, in fact, you dare not even go near them to say you still want to hug. And they don't see anything wrong with that they've not healed from it. So you can imagine. So the effect of trauma can therefore extend beyond the marriage and influence even future generations. These days I say to my boss, no matter how tall you get, see, I want to hug. Go. Yeah, I just want my hug. Hug. It's a hug. They're like, So you can imagine, it's a thing now for me. Hug. I hug. Hug. It just means I've overcome that, really. That's all I can say. You know, and now when I meet somebody who say, they're not a hugger, I just laugh. I remembered me back some years back, you know. So these things have a way of creeping into your marriage space. If you don't deal with it, you can even pass it to the future generation, pass it to your children. They don't know how to hug. You know, some people, when you hug them, they just stand there like, they don't even reciprocate. And you'll be wondering, is it that this person doesn't know how to hug, or they haven't, you know? Anyway, let me not overflog it, but you get what I mean. Again, we're going to look at common sources of trauma brought into marriage. I've been in and out it, but like I said, I want to really expand it. And again, if it's triggering for you, any sort of emotion that you really want to process or talk about, please feel free to reach me after this live. Let's talk about these things. So, common sources of trauma brought into marriage. Leslie, guess what? Childhood trauma. Childhood trauma. Many adults enter marriage carrying wounds from childhood. And I tell you examples. I've mentioned them here and there. Neglect, abuse. My own was abandonment. Imagine they abandon you. You go to a boarding school and you know every half term, midterm, whatever, you're meant to come home. Ah, Lord, this is how many years ago now? 30 something odd years ago. I'm being real with you guys because, like I said, it's triggering for me right now. But I mean, I've come over it, gotten over it. But I remembered the one that really I will never get over in a way is, I think it was the long holidays. Yeah, I think so. The long holidays, you know, where you go for the 6 weeks or how many weeks, and then you come back to a new class. The school finished. I was in the boarding school. I was in the girls' hostel. I had matrons, you know, and one after the other, parents were coming to pick their children to go home, you know. I did not know the surprise that was waiting for me. Before you realize, you know, because some came from outstate and all of that, even I came from outstate, you know, and all of the children were collected one after the other. They were going, bye, see you next year or whatever, next school year. And then there were a handful. Another day, some parents came, collected. Anyway, to cut the long story short, I was in that school for over a week. I don't know whether they've forgotten I existed or I don't know what's what. I was lost, guys. I was lost. And then the other matrons had left. One matron had to stay with me, thinking they were going to, you know, pick me up. And this one was there giving me food. She would cook for me because the main hall had the feeding hall, everything was shut. So this one would take her time to cook for me and all. And you can imagine I would cry and cry and cry. And back then there was no, like, you pick up the phone, you call. I didn't even know whether my dad was in UK, whether I was in Nigeria. I didn't know where he was, but I knew we had drivers. So there were 3 drivers. Anyone could have come down to pick me up, you know. And nobody came, nobody anything. This one was just feeding me over a week. I felt like, oh my God, they are better take me to some orphanage or something, you know. Nobody came. And then one fateful day, this woman called me. I was 11, guys. She said to me, look, I was waiting for your parents to come. No message, nothing. My own children are back home now. I have to go home. So she checked the files, saw the address where I lived, wrote how I was going to get a bus to bus connection, and she gave me money. She gave me a bit of food stuff or whatever, packed my clothes, a few bits, because I mean the impression was I was coming back again to that school so I could leave my things in the locker or whatever. And then she wrote there and said, off you go. Imagine, I don't know if you guys know UK, imagine telling an 11-year-old child back then to go from maybe London to Manchester on a bus by bus. 11-year-old. I didn't know nowhere. I didn't know nothing. And she took me to the bus stop and I went there and I was so scared. She said, anywhere you get to and you're lost, just show the people the address and they will direct you. Imagine. Anyways, I left so early that morning. One bus to another. Must have gotten lost here and there. Got the bus. And then by the time I got to the front of my house in Lagos, it was like maybe 7 p.m. Imagine, it was like 7 p.m. And dear me, got to the front of the gate, hitting the gate, the padlock was, I don't think there was anybody in the house. I thought there was nobody in the house. Anyway, that's another story for another day. So you can imagine my trauma from boarding school. Like if you go there, you abandon. I don't want to abandon my child, or they'll feel, you know, I don't even want them to think about it, let alone go through it. Of course, I know I'm not going to abandon my children even if they go there, but I just hated boarding. I do not want anything boarding. And I'm saying this just so you understand, that is one aspect of so many. That was trauma for me that it took me years to get over. And I'm like, no more boarding school. Nah. And God so good, that was the last time I experienced boarding school. I never went back. You know, I stayed a day student. So example of being neglected, I'm talking about childhood traumas that you grow up with and even bring into your marriage. Neglect, abuse. It could be abuse from wherever you were growing up as a child. I mean, you've heard of so many cases of a lot of people who were molested and all sorts, and they kept quiet. They didn't say nothing until they're in their 20s, 30s. They're now remembering stuff. Something triggered something in them, and they just found out that, oh my goodness, this person's story I'm hearing sounds like my story, because they're very deep down, but it's still there, one leg still pointing and struggling to come out. So abuse, family conflict, sometimes emotional unavailability of parents. I experience that a lot, and sometimes like I'm full on with my boys. I just want to know everything about them, their goods, their bads, their everything. Each one of them right now, I can tell you everything I know about. I can tell you. But my parents, like, that connection I didn't have with them as such, you know. And sometimes it's chronic criticism all the time. It's like your best is never good enough. As a child growing up, your first, they will complain. Your last, they will complain. Your middle position, they will complain. Everything, they will complain, you know. And all of that. So childhood experiences often shape beliefs about relationships, love, and self-worth. I don't even want to go into all of these things I've mentioned that I've gone through myself, guys. So you're not alone, but these things has to be addressed. Otherwise, it will start affecting your marriage relationship, no matter how young or old it is. Some traumas go years without unresolved still, and then it's playing a toll in your marriage. Again, another one is relationship trauma. We finished childhood trauma. There's so much, but for time. Relationship, I said, is a long one today, so please bear with me. Relationship trauma. Previous relationships can leave lasting scars. Hey, do I want to go into that as well? Let's leave it. Examples include infidelity, manipulation, emotional abuse, abandonment. You know, you love yourself, you respect yourself, you're a believer, and this person you're courting or dating is telling you, oh, let's just do the deed. After, you should know by now we're going to get married. And then you say, if we're going to get married, why do you want to offend God? This thing is meant to be done by husbands and wives, and you know, and it became a big thing, you know, being manipulated somehow and all of that. And if care is not taken, you're going to bring such into your marriage, thinking your spouse, now of course you're even married, you can be intimate and all of that, but that, you know, trauma, if you still do not resolve it, you might push your spouse away if care is not taken. Some is abandonment. When you're talking about relationship trauma, some were abandoned, you know, dating someone maybe across town or across nations even, and all. Yeah, they come and visit, you come and go, and all of a sudden, poof, they just disappeared. You call, no response, no nothing, just like that, They just abandoned you. You know, it's one thing to say, you know what, I think this relationship is not going to work. Let's go our separate ways. At least you have closure. This one, they just, oh, I'll see you next time. Oh, you had the best dinner, you did well, and off they went, and that was the end of it. Imagine. So, if care is not taken, one day you might feel your spouse, something has happened you don't even know. They want you, you didn't see them, you tried, you even called police and all of that. You don't know what and all of that. And you just feel, oh, this person has abandoned you. You know, not knowing that you should be looking for them because something has gone wrong somewhere. So a spouse may consciously expect their current partner to behave like someone who hurt them in the past. Meanwhile, it's not even the spouse, not their current spouse, that has hurt them. Again, family of origin patterns, you know, that people often learn relationship behaviors from their families. Is it always the best? Not really, most times. So if conflict was handled poorly in the home, those patterns may continue in your own marriage unless you consciously change them. I remember this was a thing we talked about. I mean, coming from a polygamous home, it was a no-no. So if you know that you're intending to have 2 wives, fine, we're believers and all, think about it. If this is going to be your long-term goal, please just let me rest. Say, you're also from a polygamous home, you've tasted that, you never ever want to be part of. Okay, we're speaking the same language, so let's carry on. So those patterns, if care is not taken, some people, you find out that their great-grandfather had 3 wives, their own grandfather 2 wives, their own father 4 wives. And tendency is, if care is not taken, if you're not intentional, you will end up with 10 wives. Even though you might think, oh, it wasn't the plan. Let's be careful. Marriage related trauma, again, sometimes trauma develops within the marriage itself, and this can be infidelity, you know, and this breaks a lot of things, you know, that domestic violence, repeated emotional neglect, financial betrayal. Thank you, Debbie. Oh, Debbie, good evening. Thank you for the heart to me. Major life crisis can even happen within your marriage, and no marriage is also for a lifetime. If trust has been broken today, with time, you know, if you're intentional, you mend it. And if you don't, for life, even for the duration of that marriage, tendency is your spouse may find it hard to trust you again. So, like I said, what did I say? Marriage is hard work. So such experiences can deeply damage trust and security, and probably eventually, if care is not taken, might lead to separation and divorce, which is not God's intention. So let's look at signs that trauma may be affecting a marriage. Some warning signs may include constant fear of rejection. Check yourself, if you're constantly feeling that about your spouse, even though they're right in your face, but you feel, oh, they're going to reject you for whatever reason, check your past relationship, past life, past experiences. You know, did you face rejection, unexplained rejection that you have not really dealt with, you haven't processed, and all of that? Could that be what is triggering this for you in your marriage? You're constantly feeling, oh, this person will reject me, maybe I'm not good enough, oh, this and all of that. So check yourself. These are warning signs. Extreme emotional reactions, check, this might be a warning sign. Difficulty trusting a spouse, even though they've not done anything, you just want to have to trust them, check, this might be a sign. Frequent misunderstandings, just as like you're speaking A, they're always speaking B, and you just, you know, it triggers for you all the time, so you're constantly arguing and all of that. Check again, it might be a sign of unresolved trauma. Avoidance of intimacy, why is that? Is it on medical grounds or is it past experience? Check that as well. Find a way to you know, dig it up if you have to, because if you don't dig it up and deal with it, it's going to be there, you know, affecting the way you're relating with your spouse, you know, avoiding intimacy and all of that. And again, it might bring about persistent resentment. You love this person, one minute you hate them because, you know, maybe they just done something and it just brought about this unresolved trauma, and you just feel, oh my goodness, so back and forth, love them today, hate them tomorrow, love them today, hate them tomorrow, and you don't want to constantly be like that. Shan, good evening, I see you. And again, it can bring emotional numbness because you haven't talked about it, it's not resolved, you just buried it, and now you're in a proper marriage relationship and those things are constantly there. You know, it's like you feel them, it's there, and it's affecting how you're relating with your spouse. Again, chronic anxiety within that relationship can happen because of unresolved trauma. Feeling unsafe despite having a loving partner, it doesn't tally. And then your partner is questioning, have I ever given you reason to feel unsafe? And you say no, but then it has nothing to do with them. It's from the past relationship. Tina Bean, I see you. So recognizing these signs is an important first step towards healing, because you want healing so you can be present wholly and fully in your current relationship such that you can enjoy the essence of your marriage. So the importance of healing, guys. We're talking about unresolved trauma in case you're just joining in. Ignoring trauma doesn't make it disappear. That's one I can tell you free of charge. If you ignore it, it doesn't mean it's gone away. Unresolved trauma tends to resurface in relationships because marriage creates emotional closeness, and closeness often exposes hidden wounds. So let's get talking to resolving things. Tony Owusu, Nana, I see you, good evening. It's not going to go away, like I said. So healing is very important because it allows individuals to develop healthier relationships. So 90% of relationship trauma is rooted in some form of dysfunctional childhood upbringing. Yeah, well, if you say so, I don't know where you got your statistics from, but probably, really, I won't say no to that actually. So healing is important. It allows you to improve your communication. You can actually communicate from the healing of that pain or trauma that you've had for years. And this will also help you increase the trust you have for your spouse, yourself even. It strengthens the emotional intimacy. It breaks unhealthy cycle, improve your mental and emotional well-being because you have gotten over that, you've resolved it, and you've decided to move on. So healing benefits both the individual and the marriage even itself, and the children that will come into that marriage. So let's look at steps towards healing, because this is how we can do things step upon step, precept upon precept, says my Bible. Acknowledge the trauma. This is very, very, very important. Your spouse may know something is wrong with you, but you yourself need to identify the trauma. Healing begins with honesty, because if you're not honest with yourself, your healing is not going to be complete. It's not going to be whole. So individuals must recognize that painful experiences, it may still be affecting their thoughts, the way they think. It may be affecting their emotion, their behaviors. Denial of those trauma will delay healing. Senior Bishop, I see you again. Let's do this TikTok. Thank you. Develop self-awareness, because this is very key. In as much as you're healed, you have to maintain that healing. This is steps towards healing. Develop self-awareness. Understanding triggers helps individuals identify when they are reacting to past wounds rather than present realities. So this thing that is triggered for you and you're behaving in this way, you're self-aware something is wrong and behaving this way, is it caused by your spouse right now, the one you're with, the current psychologist, okay? Is it created by them, or it's from, past that you're bringing into here? Because some situations may occur in your marriage that may look somewhat similar, but you're in your marriage now, and the best way would have been to sit and talk about these things because you're self-aware, okay? So sit and talk about these things with your spouse, and God helping you, they're able to understand. Otherwise, if it gets too much, too strong, get a counselor. I'll say that. Again, questions you might need to consider. Why do this situation affect me so strongly? Because like I said, incidents, situations, scenarios would happen that would trigger what you thought you buried. So why does this situation trigger me? Why does this situation affect me so strongly? Is there something I haven't dealt with? Think about those things. What emotions am I experiencing right now? Why am I experiencing this emotion? Does this remind me of a previous painful experience? These are questions we need to consider within ourselves. And if you're able to answer that as openly as honestly, maybe you're on the way to healing. Again, communicate openly. I said that before. Every Thursday, communication is number one. Whatever we're discussing, communication is number one answer to that, excuse me. So, healthy marriages require vulnerability. Spouses should create a safe environment where feelings can be shared without judgment or ridicule. Because there's some things it feels like, I dare not share this. If I share this, my partner may run away. If I share this, my partner may not feel for me like they do. So you're scared. And that's why I said sometimes you might need the help of a counselor to help you in the space to process things. Oh, okay, so current psychological statistics put family dysfunction at 74%. When you add SA in childhood, it's 90%. Oh, wow. It is, well. That's an interesting statistics there. So, communicate openly. You hear statements such as, when this happens, it reminds me of. So you could start with that. So when this thing happens, it reminds you of, like I said, when I was preparing this, I was just shaking my head. I said, God will have to help me to go through this topic today. What is it reminding you of? Be open and be honest with yourself. I struggle with this because what is that thing you've hidden? What is that unresolved trauma that is hidden? So if you say this to yourself, think about it, talk about it. This can promote understanding and empathy even from your spouse. Again, seek professional help. I've said it a million times here. Counseling and therapy can provide valuable tools for processing trauma. A qualified mental health professional can help individuals and couples, can help you understand trauma responses, improve communication, build healthier relationship patterns. Apart from the traumatic patterns you're building yours on, and help you also to develop coping strategies, because sometimes these things, they don't go away just like that. So you have to learn to manage them with different coping strategies. So seeking help is a sign of strength and not weakness. So be mindful of that. Again, practice patience. Healing rarely happens overnight. It's not going to be bam, automatic. Oh, I'm good, just like that. It's a process. Both spouses should recognize that recovery is often a gradual process involving growth, setbacks sometimes, learning, and perseverance. And in the end, as long as you've got each other's back, you will overcome. That's what I believe anyways, and God helping us all. So build emotional safety for one another, especially for the traumatized partner. Healing occurs effectively when people feel safe. They feel safe. You find out that, oh, they're happier. They communicate better. They relate better. They express better and all of that. So couples can help build safety through consistency. Sometimes we have to reassure your spouse out of the blues, I'm here for you. I will always be here. I understand with you. I empathize with all of those. Honesty, respect, reliability. Because I know sometimes when some couples, are vulnerable, they open up. The other spouse, you just see, they've not heard that before. They've not had to handle such a thing before. Even they themselves, they don't know how to handle it. So they might even make it worse. You're feeling bad, irritated and all of that. And you're sharing with them. The response they give you might even make you feel like, oh my God, should I have said this? I get it. It does happen. And that's why I say, please seek counseling if need be, please. Because you don't know how your spouse may react to such things. Again, help each other build respect, reliability, empathy, healthy boundaries as well. Certain things maybe you could just avoid altogether because you don't want to constantly be triggering your spouse as well. So trust grows when actions consistently match the word. And again, in marriage relationship, you have to learn to forgive. Whether whoever has offended you, whoever has brought that trauma from the past, sometimes you may never even see certain people ever again in your life, but you're still carrying the trauma. At some point, you have to make up your mind that, you know what, you're just going to release them. You're just going to release them from you because they're toxic, still staying in some part of your heart or your life. So the role of forgiveness is very important. It's important, very important part of your healing. If you don't learn to forgive and let go, healing might just be difficult. But I know it should be understood correctly. I'm not saying there's some people that if they hear what they've done, they might even need to be arrested or something. But forgiveness plays a role, a big role. And forgiveness, mind you, does not mean excusing harmful behavior. By the ways, it doesn't mean ignoring abuse. It doesn't mean pretending pain never happened. So let's get our facts right. Rather, forgiveness involves releasing the burden of bitterness while still maintaining appropriate boundaries and accountability. You won't say, okay, this person molested you and they're still within your whatever. You decide to forgive them and let go, and you're constantly in their face again. Things may happen, so you might have to take yourself out of there, put boundaries in place and all of that, however you decide to handle it. But let go of that bitterness because it's not going to help you. And in order for you to heal, you have to let it go. So in situations involving ongoing abuse or danger, safety and protection must come first. So we're not saying, oh, forgive and stay there and get the abuse and all of that. No, that's not what we're saying. So there is still hope for couples yet, dare I say. So one encouraging truth is that trauma does not have to define our marriage. It doesn't have to. Many couples have experienced profound healing and growth after recognizing the impact of trauma and intentionally, capital letter, intentionally addressing it. So with self-awareness, commitment, support, appropriate help, relationships can become stronger, healthier, and more resilient. The goal is not perfection, but progress, because you can actually progress from your past into your present and to your future. So I'm going to round up by saying unresolved trauma in marriage is a significant issue that can affect trust, communication, intimacy, conflict resolution, and emotional well-being. It can. So often, spouses are not simply reacting to each other, they are responding to wounds from the past that have not fully healed. Therefore, we need healing. So, recognizing these wounds, be truthful with yourself. Recognizing these wounds, understanding their impact, and pursuing healing can actually transform your relationship altogether. So when couples approach one another with empathy, patience, all this I mentioned, honesty, and a willingness to grow, marriage can become a place of restoration rather than repeated pain. So in conclusion, final say I say this: a healthy marriage is not the absence of wounds, it is the willingness of two people to acknowledge those wounds, seek healing, and walk together toward a healthier future. And that's the end of my very long talk today. So I have 3 questions I want us to really juggle within ourselves. Let's talk about this, expand it as much as possible. So that is why the statement, what people are angry about is not they are really, it's not what they're really angry about. Yeah, there's an underlying element to that reaction, to that anger, really. So, but if they're not truthful enough to themselves to actually face it head on and identify what it is exactly, they're just going to be hiding behind the anger, which is not always good. So 3 questions. First is, how can individuals identify whether their reactions, you've seen my note, whether their reactions are from present circumstances or past wound? What fears might prevent someone from acknowledging their trauma? And thirdly, why do you think many people or many couples avoid discussing trauma? I'll repeat them. How can individuals identify whether their reactions are from the present circumstances or past wounds? Second, what fears might prevent someone from acknowledging their trauma? And third, why do you think some couples avoid discussing trauma? Guys, thank you so much for listening to my long talk. Scared of being vulnerable.
Bringing hope and make you feel alright. Rainbow, the promise, the
Nicole, good
future
evening.
life. Let the light that's within me shine to the whole world.
In fact, it deserves part 3, part 4, part 10. I know, unresolved trauma. A lot of people are in denial. A lot of people have buried things that they need to dig up and dig out of their lives such that they can enjoy the essence of living. You know, it's amazing how trauma can impact individuals. We all react differently to different kind of traumas, and some may feel, oh, it's not traumatic enough, and they're talking about certain things and they're still crying, and this is like 10 years on, then you know that, hey, this thing is traumatic because you have not healed. It's still as raw as when it happened or whatever it is, you know. So there us address it today. Let's reason together so that we can enjoy our marriage relationship. Guys, send me an invite. Let's talk some more about this. You know, like I say, no matter how long my talk is, I still will not be able to cover it all, but at least you have an idea of our discussions today. So thank you so much for joining. Rosebar, I see you. Thank you so much. Send me an invite. Let's rub minds together some more. Peradventure, you're listening right now, and you know everything has just been triggered for you. Apologies, but we have to talk about these things so that we can heal and move on with life in the best way possible. The average African is dealing with multiple levels of trauma. I sincerely concur, honestly. And thank God, Leslie, you're number one in the box today. I've sent invite to some of us. Please, if you want to be part of this discussion, please do send me an invite. How are you, Leslie? Happy Thursday.
I'm good, thank you. I don't know if you can see me. I'm very good, thank you.
Okay, yay. He's put his camera on today.
Yeah.
I can see you with my tired eyes, yes. Oh
Yeah,
my.
this topic is a sensitive topic, but it's very important. And it's funny because I've actually directly dealt with some of it in terms of counseling. Like I've mentioned that before.
Yeah.
And I'm glad if I didn't have my counseling, I don't even think my marriage would be where it's at, because some of the things we'll be arguing about would be things that would have been from my childhood that I never resolved. And I'm glad that I had that, because it helped me to deal with those things even before I got married. So I didn't have to bring in too much of these things.
Drama.
When I meant the average Africans carry multiple levels of trauma, that there's even the historical trauma of the things we went through as Africans in terms of colonization, especially West Africa, East Africa, South Africa, where our leadership, our government has never really dealt with that. They just think it, and we're so flippant about it. Then you think about a lot of the radicalization of Islam in parts of our nation that has caused a terrorism that's still ongoing. You think about the Boko Haram situation, and then you think about slavery as well, which lasted for 300-400 years. That's a big. So by the time you get down to just the everyday dealing with each other, you're just bringing in multiple levels of trauma. And you don't even know why you're angry. The way we, the way we deal with ourselves, like there's so much anger and pain, and like it just hasn't been dealt with. And these are the things, and this is why again that I just feel like the average African, we just don't process our emotions properly. We don't process why are we so angry with each other? Why the violence that if some of them just actually took time to sit down to actually ask some of those questions, some of them probably begin to engage. Where is this coming from? But let's leave that for another day. But dealing with marriage trauma. Marriage trauma.
So,
and it's funny you're talking about the topic today, because I've actually talked about this years ago. This is going back. I remember when I first shared with one of my friends. That one is now divorced. And I remember telling him, I said, bro, some of the things we dealt with when we were going to boarding school and our family background, have you ever decided to talk through it, go to a therapist? And it's like, what's that got to do with anything? I said, I said, this has got to do a lot too, because some of the things you're going to hear in you know what? Let somebody else take over. I have a family thing they're calling me.
Okay, all right.
I have to come back. Sorry.
Yeah, you will have to come back and finish. Thank you so much. Shan, good evening. How are you? Thank you, Leslie. I see you. Shan, good evening. Are you able to talk where you are? You have to unmute. Otherwise, I'll go to Susan. Okay, I don't know what's happening. I hope it's not stuck. Susan, good evening. Happy Thursday to you. Are you there as well? I hope there's no technical.
There's no technical
Okay.
happening. My
Yeah.
hands are full, that's why. I'm
Okay.
washing up, so
All right. Sorry.
I had my hand filled up with stuff.
How are you though?
I'm good. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can somebody just talk? Let me just round up with this washing,
Okay. Okay.
please. Thank you.
Let me come to Debbie. Hopefully she's not cooking or eating or. Debbie, good evening. How are you? Shan, are you there? Debbie, are you there? Okay, Debbie. Good evening, Debbie. How are you?
Well, I am fine.
I can see you're still behind your machine there.
It's been a crazy week, kind of.
There's so many weddings.
Not necessarily wedding.
Okay.
It's just been crazy, Sha. All of them.
I've told you, come and employ me. Oh, I only take £50 an hour. Oh,
Very.
Mary, nothing
That's
less.
we don't employ people that charge low.
Really? It's because you're my sister in my community. Oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. That means that you don't really know the work. Your price is too low for the quality of the job
I'll
we
come and
expect.
assist. I'll come and assist. I'll be your assistant designer.
Wow.
And I have designs in my head, though. Don't try me, oh.
Wow, that would be beautiful. I would love to see them.
In fact. Shabi, you know how to sketch your thing. I'll pour the ideas on you and you sketch it out for us. Yes, that's what we're discussing.
Why is everybody quiet today?
I don't know. Everybody's engaged doing one thing or another. Leslie has just been summoned to attend to something quickly. I don't know what is with Shan. Susan, Sands are busy, so you're the next person. Maybe we should be gisting until they're no, but
Even in my head and my hand, my brain, everything is busy. Can you imagine?
you're here now, Shan. Okay, Shan says she's here now.
Oh,
So
Shan is here. Okay, let Shan talk because my brain is still quite occupied.
Okay, all right.
Maybe by the time she finished, but I'm here.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining in. Anyways, Abusa, I think I see you. Shan, yeah, on mute. Let's hear you. Please send me an invite if you're there. We're talking about unresolved trauma in marriage. So what happened to you then? Are you too busy? Are you busy tonight, Shan? You're giving lectures.
No, I was having my late dinner while Leslie was talking, so I just moved like a minute to take my stuff to the kitchen. Then I came back and found that I think you had called me.
Okay, yeah, you had to quickly step away. So, yeah, Leslie, when you're ready, let me know as well. So we'll carry on because of time. Shan, yeah, thanks for joining. What was the dinner? I'm curious now. Tell me.
I ate something very nice. Like I think I've eaten it like I last ate it like 2 or 3 or even 4 years. There is this type of fish. It's not tilapia. I don't know how it's called in English. I knew before, but I forgot. It's like a bit slippery. It's not like tilapia.
Catfish?
Yes. Yes, I love it. Yeah.
Slippery and black.
Yes, exactly. So I had it with ugali. If you guys know ugali, like the maize flour.
Okay.
Yeah, so I loved it.
Wow,
It's
that's
been
good.
long without. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Well, it is good that you enjoyed it. Good. So you have energy for us on Insights tonight.
Yes, full energy. But
So,
also the
yeah,
topic is
at least you listen to
traumatizing
part of the
too.
talk. You say?
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm fully prepared for it, but also the topic kind of re-traumatizes, I would say. You talk
Yeah,
about
that's why I keep emphasizing. If it's triggering for you, please. I mean, this one I put myself out there as well. Don't worry.
Debbie, I'll bring yours. I'll bring yours. Actually, we got a lot of them. We are one we ate today, and then I think we have like about 5 more pieces we want to roast. Like
Oh,
we want to roast and dry it. So yeah, I
the
can keep
roast
for
and
you.
dry. You can post it down to us.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
all, sometimes you order fish from Africa, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm sure you don't order the fresh ones. Yeah.
No, of course, it's a smoked one,
Yeah.
so that they
Smoked,
can,
yeah, smoked,
yeah,
yeah.
preservation of them is better when it's roasted. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so unresolved trauma in marriage is what we're looking at today. So the first question is, how can individuals, and sometimes we're focused on marriage, but individuals can answer this because the trauma is carried by individuals. So how can individuals identify whether their reactions are coming from present circumstances or past wounds? Let's start with that.
I think my lifetime I've been somebody who sit down with myself and try to think through whatever is happening with me and what probably is making it happen. I nowadays try to like process every kind of emotion. Whether when I find myself feeling sad, why am I sad, angry at myself, angry at people, angry at certain situations? Why is it happening to me?
Okay.
And actually, certain things, I find it that, okay, this is something very small, but why am I overreacting it? Why am I feeling overly scared? Is it because of past something? Is it because of something that happened in my lifetime with my family and all that? So it's what I usually do. And one thing that I've actually realized is that it might not be related to trauma, but recently I've been feeling a bit so not negative, but my response to a certain situation is always negative. But then one time when I talked to it, I was one time having a session on mental health, and I asked that question, and I was actually taken back. I knew that probably it's because of past trauma, but then I could not verify it. So when I talked to a psychologist, she told me that most likely, like, the biggest percentage is because of past trauma.
Yeah.
And mine has been death. I feel like I've experienced death. I think one time I presented here the last year, I lost like 6 people, and out of the 6, 3 were my relatives, one my blood sister, the rest were very close people I've known, people that have supported me. But also, not only that, I've lost relatives, aunties when they were, old. Like I've encountered a lot of death to the point that something happens, the first response is, okay, is the person dead? What if someone dies? What if death comes in and all that? To the point that actually 2 weeks ago, it was just one of my auntie's child that had slept off in a couch, on a couch. So when I heard he was watching TV, he's 9 years old, he was watching TV, but it was too loud, and I just realized that, oh, there's a very loud noise, and where is it coming from? Then I kept calling his name. I said, Tommy, can you reduce the volume of the television? He wasn't responding. And then I saw that, okay, I'm talking to him, he's not responding, but he's sleeping on the couch. Then the first thing that ran into my mind, I was like, okay, how is he sleeping? And then I was like, okay, he seems not sleeping well. Like, he looks like his, head is a bit twisted. Has something happened to him? And the first thing I was like, is he dead? I ran, I didn't even look at switching off or reducing the volume. And then I called, I shook him 1-2 minutes, he wasn't responding. When someone is deep asleep. And then I started feeling frightened, scared. I was like, I even called another person, like, Tommy's not waking up. And yet I shook him like only 1-2 times, but I already had that fear and my whole body was quaking. I was like, is Tom okay? But at the back of my brain, my mind was just telling me, what if he has died now? What is going to happen? You get. Yeah. And yet the boy was just deep asleep. So then when I kept thinking about it, not only that, but anything that happens, always my first reaction is death. Even when I'm walking, then I just think of, okay, now what if an accident happened? I don't think of it as, okay, an accident is going to happen and then someone might maybe get an injury and then get taken to the hospital, but it's only death that comes into my mind. And then one time I just talked to her about it with a psychologist, and then she asked about the history of such things, and only to find out that I've been exposed to death. Like
Too many
every
times.
time I encountered something, at least death happens. And I don't know mine, because sometimes even I feel like it's spiritual. I can even think of something happening. I don't know. I've been praying over it. Actually, this is the first time I'm saying it here and to you. I've never told it to anybody. I can think about, my instinct can just tell me, okay, what if something happens now and somebody dies? And after like a year or 2 years, that person is going to, this is true, I'm not lying, that person is going to die, or something is going to happen to that person. So I've been asking myself, is it just maybe I have some spiritual related gift of, knowing things, or it's just past trauma? But also meeting the psychologist, she told me that it's because of trauma. I've lost a lot of people. And mine even started when I was young. I lost my mom when I was, I think, 7, 8 years. I watched her die and all that. Then all my lifetime I saw people die. So that's how
I see you.
I started identifying that I have unresolved traumas, and probably my reaction to it is because of certain things that happened. And also currently there's certain things that I feel like I react to it because of stuff that happened before. When I talk of relationship, I don't want to talk about that, because most of my reactions, even tomorrow, even yesterday, it's because of the past, that if I see myself responding, I just know that, okay, it's because of what happened. And most times I tell myself I'm reacting to this because of what happened. I don't want what happened to me to happen again, and that's the reason why I am. So what I do is just sit with myself. I try to analyze where it's coming from. Is it huge enough for me to respond, especially when my response is very negative? I ask myself, does it even qualify certain response I'm giving or not? And what is the cause? Like, is it something that built up over time or just happened yesterday? And why am I responding or reacting to it like this? So basically, that's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for that, Shan. I mean, very, very personal, but thank you so much for sharing. What fears then might prevent someone from acknowledging their trauma?
The first immediate fear, I think everybody would fear, because even just acknowledging it, you find yourself present in that moment again. And mine has always been finding myself back there, because there's no way you're going to identify that past trauma without you being there. You need to get back there and experience it, most times even 100% fully, for you to fully understand that, okay, I'm responding to this because of what happened in the past. So for my biggest fear is to go back there, and then you have to experience all the emotions, feelings, and all that you went through, that you probably even took longer, a year or 2 or 3 years to resolve from. And then you have to go through it again. And trust me, if you go through it again, it might take you again some time to get back to your fully healed person. So for me, my biggest fear is going back there. I wouldn't want to. That's why most times I tell me, you know what, I don't want to go there. I just don't want to be there again. It's gone. It's in the past. Because I don't want to be in that moment again, because I know how it feels to be there and what took me to get out of that, moment. Yeah.
Okay, thank you again, Shan. So the last question is, why do you think, well, this one is for couples really, why do you think many couples avoid discussing trauma? You might have an answer for us as well.
What, could you repeat that again?
Why do you think many couples avoid discussing trauma?
I think people avoid discussing trauma. It's the same thing, like as I mentioned, people don't want to get back to that moment, especially when it comes to relationship. Probably whatever happened almost costed the relationship, and then you got out of it, you rebuilt the relationships. And most times if you start it over again, then people are going to bring certain things. Let me say, for example, maybe whatever caused that trauma was someone. Let me say, me as a woman, I contributed to that thing. And most times going back to that, it means you have to bring in all the details of what someone did. For example, maybe if I almost costed a relationship, in most cases revisiting it, I have to come in, and then what I did is also going to resurface. And I think no one would want that to resurface again. So that's why most people would rather bury it and let it be there instead of discuss about it. But of course, you discuss about it, and some people resurface traumas, resurface issues, make it feel like, okay, this has happened. Even if it has happened in the past and people have forgotten about it, but again, even while you guys have healed, you've worked it out, certain aspects of it, one or two, has been resurfacing, and then you go back to it fully, it's going to feel like it's happening in real life. And if you feel like it's happening in real life, it will be like fresh and now. And especially when it happened in a relationship whereby I feel like both of you are tired, probably you even be triggered that, you know what, we have experienced this again and it is happening again, and then why shouldn't we? So people would just rather get the relationship instead of going back there, because they fear that it's going to cost a relationship. But I think also people just don't like people fear to, I don't know how to express what happened in the past, I mean, but how are you going to even to start talking about it, especially to your partner, most especially if that partner wasn't even part of that trauma. Talking about rape, you were raped, you got married, maybe you're into a relationship, you did not tell your boyfriend, and then you already, I think one time one of us mentioned here, then you want it to get known to your partner 2, 3, 4 years after you're really into a relationship, maybe after you're married. Where are you going to start from? Probably maybe a man didn't want to get married to someone who has gone through that. So people fear talking about that because they fear that they don't even know how the other person is going to react about it. So they'll rather just keep it than letting it out. They're not sure of how the response they're going to get from the other. Yeah. So they'll rather just keep it, locked in there. So yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Sham. Thank you so much. Leslie, are you ready? Okay.
I'm here, thank you. I don't know if you wanted to say something in response to Sean's response.
Yeah, go on.
No, I thought you wanted to say something in
Oh,
response.
no, it's fine. I mean, it's because it's a personal thing. There's only so much I can say, And
I
yeah.
just wanted to drop a little this thing when you mentioned about the award, and I think I watched. I remember when I came to the UK in '97, and I happened to watch a program where a woman, something happened, and they kind of kept it quiet. So she got married, and then like maybe 5 years into the marriage, the person that uh, essayed her years before she got married, she saw the person again. And I think that the police were looking for the person, and she happened to be the only witness. But she didn't want the husband to know. So it was a very complex thing.
I can imagine.
So at first she kind of thought that she would just forget about it, she would not. But then at night she would be sleeping and start be saying something. So the husband would be like, what's going on? Why you keep mentioning something, you keep mentioning this person. So she was like, oh no, maybe it's just a bad dream. Like after 2 weeks, man said, maybe you need to see psychiatrist. So she went to go and see the psychologist. And the psychologist told her, you need to tell your husband what's going on because this thing has happened. And also you might need to tell the police, or else this person that you are trying to think has gone away and you don't feel it's not my business, will probably be doing to other people. And if you are feeling this way, imagine all the other people what they'll be dealing with and going through. And you will be creating new victims. So, long story short, she told the husband, the thing turned to something else.
I can only imagine
And
that.
because I'll have to say a lot of men were not really good emotionally. In fact, I think it's when men get married for a long time that they actually start getting better emotionally, unless they've been brought in homes where the parents are clued on.
Emotionally,
You
yeah,
know,
effective.
yes, unless they're brought in home, most men are not good. I'm sorry to say, are not good. But thankfully, the husband, like maybe like 2 weeks into it, one of his friends now talked to him and said, "Hey, look, it wasn't your wife's fault." Talk to him and said, "You know, right now, she actually needs you now more than ever." It was his friend, it wasn't even psychologist, it was just his friend. And the guy told him, "You need to talk to her." And he did not mention, like, he had a similar thing happen to his sister and told him how the family dealt with it. And he said, "Look, you need to go back home." So when he went home, the wife was going to say something, just told her to keep quiet, and he hugged her tight. That was such an emotional scene. Just hugged her, and he let her know, no matter what is going on, I'm going to be here for you, 100%. You know, and yeah, I remember watching that, and I'm thinking, boy, that was my first time seeing such a breakthrough moment on TV. I can't remember the film. It came out like 96 or 97. So a lot of men, it's not a lot of men's strong suit when it comes to those kind of things, unfortunately, even though men cause that problem more. And then some cultures, unfortunately, some cultures, they actually unalive the victim, even though the victim didn't do it. They unalive the victim because of family honor and shame. So a lot of these patriarchal societies that cause this problem are not good in handling it as well. They're just not good at it. So it's something that a lot of men need to work on and deal with, because it happens. It's a real thing. So yeah, I'm just going to get back to the topic. I just want to throw that out there that
Yeah,
and part of it is suppression. A lot of people suppress these things, and there are lots of cultures where, unfortunately, male-dominated cultures where women are suppressing a lot of very
Trauma.
serious traumatic things in their life, just suppressing because the society does not support them, doesn't discuss those things, and they want to lie and hide it, but they know it's there. They just don't want to deal with it, because some of these men, their friends are doing those things. They don't want to be out of the group, whatever rubbish, and the few that do something, they get ostracized, unfortunately. So it's a lot of work to be done in that area.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for adding that to Shan's contribution. So the first
So please
question.
just ask me the first question, because I've forgotten where I left off.
Yeah,
My
I
son
know.
was needing my help.
So the first question is, how can individuals identify whether their reaction are coming from present circumstances or past wounds? I think you mentioned something like that in your.
I think the biggest one is repeated. When you have repeated something going on, go and check it. It's like life is telling you this problem has not gone away. This problem has not gone away. There's a in the book of Psalms, there's a word that David used. It's called Selah. And that word is a very interesting word. It says pause and calmly think of that. And I tend to think that a lot of people don't process their especially men, don't process their emotions properly. They don't stop. And I'm even the Western world, this constant going doesn't allow a lot of people to process
pause and
what they've just gone through.
Yeah.
So they bury it in food, in work, in anything, because they don't want to process what they're going to. They don't want to deal with the pain. But part of recovery is dealing with the pain. Part of the recovery is stopping to actually process what happened and walk it through. Walk it through with professional help, on your own, studying, but walking that thing through to the point where you can see that thing for what it is and begin to say, this thing no longer has control over my life. But a lot of people don't deal with that process properly. They want to rush through it, don't want to engage, don't want to process, and then they wonder why they end up repeating it later again. So in my situation, where is a constant, and that's why I keep telling people, when it comes to finances is not the problem, it's a symptom. The real problem is a behavior. It's a behavior. It's a child. If you grew up in a home where you struggled with money and your father or mother were not good in actually regulating how they handled not having money, you're going to have a very poor way of dealing with not having money.
Most likely.
And so when you do have money, it becomes a form of control. So it's a behavior that hasn't been checked. It hasn't been dealt with because you see it as a one-way street. When I have money, I've got to keep it to myself. I've got to make sure nobody touches it. And it is never being dealt with. And a lot of people, it's a behavior issue. Now, money is just the expression of that thing. But the real problem is the behavior that hasn't been checked or dealt with. They have not processed why they're dealing with. And that's why you see some people, when they have money problems, either they save, or they're too stingy, or they spend because they are trying to escape or not deal with something. So it's a behavior issue, and if you deal with the behavior, you find that the other part will go quite well. And that's why I keep saying that most couples do not talk about money, and that's already a big red flag, because they haven't come to a place of transparency. They don't talk about it. They don't know how to engage, actively walk through it. And I'm even talking about even rich people, quote unquote, have this problem. The only difference is that they have a bit more to spare, but they never really engage or discuss it. So when a pattern of behavior is constantly repeated, it's because it's coming from somewhere else. The root is deeper, it's far away. If you do gardening, that's why I love gardening. When you some weed, I had a pastor. He brought a weed, so he kind of hid it in a bean bag, and we saw the kind of like the stump, and it was quite short, like maybe the size of somebody's hand. When he opened back, we saw the root. The root was 10 meters. Wow. The root of that weed was 10 meters. We almost felt, we were like, what? Hey, what is this? The root of that, but on the surface, it looked like maybe like the size of a human hand. But the root was 10 meters. Some people are dealing with, some people, their trauma is deep, but they've never really gone to deal with the origin of where that thing came from. And when they actually begin to deal with that, again, like I said, I have friends, I have brothers that have told the same thing, and they will just, and a lot of men is pride, it's arrogance, it's bravado. Then when they go through it, they will now be saying, it's the person. I'm like, stop blaming the person. Your own. If you did your part, some of that problem would not have gotten to the way it got to. But you refuse to deal with those hidden problems, those repeated behavior that you have justified and rationalized. And if you have money, you will, especially us Nigerian men, will just say, "Hey, I'm working, I'm paying all the bills," and that's our MO, our shield to not dealing with the real problem, And a few of them, their marriage have not gone well, or they are still in marriage because they are compensating, overcompensating. Wow. But yeah, a lot of people do not want to deal with those things because it's a pattern of behavior that, in a way, it may help them in some other areas, but ultimately in a relationship, it's not working. It's not working, and unfortunately, they'll blame the spouse for the things that they ought to do. So that's some of that is just root problem that they've never really gone back to go and deal with, or they don't see the need to do it. And unless God shows them, or somebody talks to them, or something, or they get an epiphany, or they get so old and everybody run away from them, maybe they'll finally realize that, okay, I need to
they will just go in self-isolation. It is well. I mean, just to add to what you said, I'm going to ask you the second question. I can count the number of men in the last 4 years as clients that I've seen that have cried in the session. In fact, it's like a strange thing seeing a man in the moment, they get so emotional and they tear up. And, I mean, you're the professional, you can't show. And in my mind, I'm like, wow, this is unique. This is like different, because it's women. Women will, before they even sit down, they started crying already. You know that. But I mean, for men, I can count. Like, I can actually count. You know, so they bottle all these things up. They bottle. I said, look, this is your space. If you want to scream, yell. I said, well, it might just be disturbing other people. But if you want to scream, this is the space. If you want to yell, this is the space. If you feel like crying, please, by all means, don't bottle it, because you've got feelings. You know, like in fact. So I relate with that. But God will have to help our men. Everybody,
Yes,
every
sir.
human, whether male or female, they have the tear duct. They have it there, and it's meant to be used for something. So why they'll say this gender must not cry, or that gender must swallow the trauma and just be it is
But then
very
if you read the story
dangerous.
of Joseph, when Joseph finally gets to confront his brothers, the Bible says he weeps so much that
Oh,
even the
he
servants
was
heard it.
traumatized. He remembered everything
It was
like
that
that.
weeping that brought the healing.
Oh,
If he did not weep
exactly.
like that, he would not be able to forgive his brothers. It means that he was processing everything came full force. So if he did not weep, I'm telling you, he probably be holding them in unforgiveness.
Yeah.
It was the weeping that lets him have that release to finally say, "This is God. Yeah, you guys did me harm, but God has done what he needed to do, and that's why he was able to forgive them." And a lot of men are suppressing and carrying a lot of things, a lot of wounds, a lot of very deep wounds, because they just don't know how to engage and bring it out, and they hide. I'll give you. There was one meeting. There was one meeting in my former job. This was this was 2023. I was in a meeting, and it was for men who are carers. And I was the youngest person in that meeting, even though I was over 40, but I was the youngest. These were men were like from like, I think the oldest was 70. The next person above me was about 55.
Okay.
So we're on the third day, and he was a young man. The guy was 30 who was doing this course. He's a young man. And I knew from the first day that this guy is different, because this guy was like, I remember the first day, he said, "I am going to let you know that as a man, I have learned to express and deal with my emotions. So if I do get a bit weepy, be okay with that." We didn't know we're about to enter tsunami. Because you should see, these are grown men who are very stiff upper lip. In fact, there was one of them used to be a company executive for one of these very big firms in city of London, and he happened to now be caring for his wife who had dementia.
Oh.
Third day, this guy did something that it made us go back to our childhood. This guy, he was about maybe 67 then. He now remembers something that his parents did to him, that they sent him to boarding school. That's what I mean. I'm not but it wasn't the boarding school. It was something that the father especially never saw him as good enough. So he had built his whole life. I'm going to always prove to this man. It was in this meeting that this man finally cried.
Wow.
67 for the first time, and wept like a baby, saying that so you mean that I am cared for? And the guy who was doing this meeting, the topic was how we need to learn to love ourselves again. You should see the floodgate open. This man, this 7-year-old man, he cried. Even me, I was like, I even told them, let me just leave this meeting. He said, no, you're staying. Because
I bet that meeting went longer than necessary.
Hey, and these are white people. Oh. These are white people.
Yeah.
These are white people. If you see this 67-year-old man, he was weeping. And then when we finished, he said, "You know what? I feel good. How do you feel?" He said, "I've been carrying this thing for so long." Yes. Then the second person that started crying was an Asian man. In fact, he was Indian. He said that his own, that the father used to beat him a lot to do well in school. That he had to do well. And so, as soon as he was 21, he left India and ran to England so that he would not have to be dealing with father. But see that he still, that thing was still affecting his mind every time. He'd be in a job, he'd be thinking about his father would tell him that you're not doing. So, and he too started to cry. That,
Good evening.
And I was like, wow, he just let it rip. In fact, he even said, today I'm just letting it off. So again, as I said, that a lot of people is childhood upbringing, and these were grown men crying for the first time. So I'm thinking, boy, you went through life 60+ years, and it's today you finally let it. And then the Asian guy now made a statement. He said, you know what? That from now on, I am going to give myself the freedom to feel my emotions and not feel guilty about it. That was the Asian man's statement, and he said that's what he was going to do going forward. And he was over 60 as well. So a lot of people are carrying deep wounds, trauma from that, and they never knew that it's affecting how they do their relationship. And the Indian man said something that I love. He said that he was going to go and apologize to all his children and tell them why he did certain things to them. I said, wow, this dude, I said, if you're not a Christian, you have repented today. You have repented, because that's repentance. That he actually now saw, not only was he getting himself healed, but he also felt, let me go and tell my children. Let me go and tell them, so they don't know where I'm coming from. And he said, even if they don't accept it, at least let them know that from going forward, he loved them. Whether they do or they don't do, he loved them. So, and that was the third day of the meeting. By the fourth, our meeting was 5 days. The fourth day, most of the men did not show up.
They've gone to restitute.
They say, but the ones that did the crime, they came and they finished the course. So a lot of men, they run away because they don't know how to process emotion, and they're not vulnerable, and so they carry into marriage, because men they don't have a problem with their physical part, but when it comes to their inner this thing, oh boy, that's where they are. So vulnerability is a big issue, and that's why, again, a lot of people can be carrying deep wound into a relationship, and they don't know that they are just dealing with their spouse from something that they have outgrown, but they still living it in their head, So yeah, that's the answer to that number 2 question.
Okay.
Fear.
So last one, the third question actually is, why do you think many couples avoid discussing trauma?
I think it's pride. I think sometimes they're talking to the wrong people. If people who don't understand these dynamics, because not everybody knows how to discuss these things. You don't have to be professional. I think you just have to be caring. I think you just have to think about other people than just yourself to be able to begin to engage on such a level. And not many people have that. So in quite a few marriages, a lot of couples are putting up with a lot of pain, a lot of difficulty, a lot of hurt, simply because they do not know how to engage. And I think another one is the lack of vulnerability. People are afraid to be vulnerable in their relationship. And some people don't know what it means to be vulnerable. They just don't know what it means to be vulnerable. And I think, this is my opinion, I don't know if there's any statistics, but I think especially for us Africans, we have this thing where we just feel we don't have a right to be soft, or I think we almost feel like we don't deserve to be treated well. Yeah, everything's hard, tough. I don't think we deserve to be treated softly or spoken to softly. I'll give you an example. In my last job, a particular person of the other race, the one that looked like our palm color people, they said something, and I said I told them I don't quite appreciate being spoken to like that. I said I wouldn't even speak to my child, and a lot of people looked at me funny, and I knew where they were coming from, because they didn't know that I've done all those counseling, I've done everything, so I know and they found it funny because they, in their mind, they think because we are dark skinned, we should just take anything, and I'm like, no, I don't just take anything. I don't care who you are. I don't just take anything. I'm not a dumping ground for anybody. I've I've done the work, so I know how I should be addressed. And I said to the person, I wouldn't even address my child like that, let alone an adult.
What's this? I see you.
It didn't happen again. And then I told the person, please, from now on, if you're going to speak to me like that, write it in an email. Put it in an email, please. And so you can see that even some people's idea of how certain people should be treated is normalized, because we just are used to this hardship. No, no. You don't deserve to be spoken in anyhow or any way. And then we bring that into our marriages as well. We just do that. You should learn to speak to your spouse with respect. You should learn to speak to your spouse with love. You should learn to speak with them with care. It should not, every not, we're not just, yeah, we're Africans, so we're just hard. No, sorry, no. If it doesn't start at home, I'm sorry, it's not, they're not going to do for you out there. Learn to do that at home. Learn it. I'm telling you, because I had to learn this. I trust me, I didn't just jump and do this stuff. I had to go through years of process. Learn to speak to your spouse lovingly. Learn to care for them. Learn to look at them as a human being that is worthy of respect, dignity, and honor. They are made in God's image. For that alone, bam, you don't need to wait for them to achieve anything. Just learn to do that in your own home. I'm telling you, you begin to break ice. And they can become more and more vulnerable. And the more vulnerable you are with each other, the better you are at dealing with a lot of issues. Now, I'm not saying on spouse is psychologist or psychiatrist too, but just learn the ability to speak kindly and lovingly to your spouse. Learn it. Do it every day. Make a habit of it. Say it for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Practice it. To speak kindly, to lovingly speak to your wife or husband. Make it a practice. Do it every day. Because if you can't deal with them, who do you want to deal with?
I wonder.
So I feel that is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't overcome some of this one, because they don't even have that for each other. They don't even think they deserve that for one another. And that's very sad.
Okay, thank you, Leslie. Wow. I mean, you've said a lot, and the truth is not, this one is not about even love as such, because I mean, you love enough, you love each other enough to be in that marriage relationship. But when it comes to vulnerability, you don't know what to expect from the person being vulnerable, and then the other party, they may not have, been in that situation before. They may not know how to handle it. However, the fact that you're a couple, I mean, you should be able to bear one another's burden more than any other person. Well, I do understand, childhood. Remember, we talked about the childhood trauma. It may have, everybody's coming with some sort of trauma, whether you're in denial of it, whether you've acknowledged it, whether you've worked on it, whether you have healed from it. Everybody has got some sort of trauma, that they have to deal with, or they've dealt with, that they've brought into that marriage relationship. And of course, such trauma would have left you shaped somehow in your habits, behavior, in your thinking, your emotions and all. And if extra care really is not taken, if you still carry bitterness from that traumatic experience, tendency is you bring that bitterness into your marriage. So this is why we're talking about this, to be open and honest with yourself first of all, because there's I mentioned so many situations that can bring about trauma, especially from the past. And they say time heals. Okay, time heals for some people. Yeah, for some people, time just buries and is waiting for you to be in that marriage relationship. Bam, you get triggered. And you find out that this thing you thought I think I shared here, when I decided to, go do my counseling, one of the criteria is you have to do 40 hours of counseling session yourself. And they were using the phrase or the statement, counselors must deal with their own baggage first before dealing with other people's baggage, kind of. So if you don't deal with your own stuff, how do you want to be open-minded enough? How do you want to be free-minded enough to help other people with their traumas, with their situation and all? So it was a mandatory requirement, 40 hours, and your counselor will sign it off. You have supervision as well. They will have to sign it off. Otherwise, no graduation, So it was mandatory. And then come and say the hunt. Everybody, have you gotten one? Have you gotten one? And we even have what we call a group session as well during the course. And there we've cried, melted down, whether young or old or whatever, depending on the topic we're being taught or we're learning from, or the theory or whatever it is. A lot. And I said to myself, 40 hours of therapy, I had to pay. In fact, each session was £50. I said, I'm a student, oh, this and that. But I still I had to get, and that was even student discount, you can imagine. And I'm like, but for this course, I don't think I need therapy because I'm in a good place. My faith, spiritual journey, bam, I thought I was everything okay. So I'll just be going to therapy for what exactly? This is a waste of my money. I could be using the money to do it. I just moan and grow, but I know I still have to do it. So I found one counselor and booked the date. First session, still all that feeling good with myself, like, talk and, okay, first session, is it? But the second session, it depends, the counselor probed one or two, but I had to go a little bit deeper, I said, okay, fair enough. It's about the third week. It got to a point I just was like this in session because I just thought there were certain trauma, there were dramas. There were traumas that I thought I'd dealt with, I'd healed from, and I was good. But in the session, oh my God, it felt raw. I said, so I did not have like complete healing, because even I was surprised at the way I was feeling and talking, because one of the things is for you to know that you've completely healed from whatever trauma. When you're talking about it and you're laughing and you're good, you see the lessons and all of that, you're talking, then they know. But when you're not talking about trauma and you start tearing up, that wound, you have not dealt with it, or not completely, because sometimes there are remnants of past wounds that can bring about a bigger wound if care is not taken. And I'm sure by the 10th session or something, I'm like, my goodness, I felt like damaged goods, to be honest with you. And I so appreciate my therapist. Oh my goodness, the things that I never thought, the things I never even thought about. My blind spot, for example. I remember even me, I had a meltdown for a couple of weeks in class. I can't remember the topic, or the theory or whatever. Honestly, that shook the daylight out of me. It shook my core belief as a believer. In fact, for that 2 weeks, I finally had to pray. I was just, I felt like lost. And all of these things I was able to discover going through therapy. So don't look at therapy as weakness. Don't look at it as a shameful thing. Me from Africa, pride, all of these things. Look, you will just be suffering in silence. Imagine me that felt I was good, okay, my spiritual strength carries a lot. I was lost for 2 whole weeks. And then it's like I had to start picking up the pieces of me to put the me that I now want to see together. And that experience I would never ever forget. Trauma, it's something you've gone through, and the fact that you're able to stand, whether you've healed from it or not, you're able to stand way after that trauma. You should say kudos to yourself. And now let's deal with it such that it doesn't mess up our mind and then our behavior and our relationship. It just messes it up without we realizing. I never thought my blind spot, oh my goodness, it wasn't a group thing, and it just got me thinking all of a sudden. I said, oh, is that why? That was why that, oh my, it broke me. Part of that also broke me. Like I never thought I could hear that being said about me. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. We don't, even do we even know ourselves in total? The me in 5 years, do I even know what I would do in 5 years, or what I will not do? But one day at a time. But then we cannot bring those baggage from past and want to build something solid when you know that there's still wound, there's still hurt. All of these things we have to deal with in order to, and I'm talking to husbands, I'm talking to wives, because you've brought something into that marriage you're aware of, you're not aware of. This is where self-reflection, self-awareness comes into play. And you find out that the moment you start realizing this and looking for ways and strategies to cope in about it, it would free your mind. You'll be more open-minded, probably more empathetic, more compassionate, more understanding. In so many ways, you're going to be better for it. But if you keep them locked away and it's just letting you live life somewhat, guarded and all of that, you're not enjoying the fullest of life. Let me leave it there. I'm going to come to Susan. Susan, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening. Good
Yes.
evening.
So your hands are free now.
I've been ready since. I was just waiting for you to finish.
Don't get me started. This thing, it is well. But the floor is yours now. Let's hear you. Let me start with the first question as well,
I'll
because
start with the last one.
the last one. Okay.
Yeah.
So the last one is that for the couple, really. Why
Yeah.
do you think couples avoid discussing trauma?
Well, anyway, thank you, Leslie and Shanda, have really spoken. It's your topics are really, really good topics that sometimes you think about it, you're like, have I really sat down to think about this topic for myself? I know we've dealt something about trauma and all that before, but like Elder Leslie said, maybe we should be doing part 1 and 2. Because if they leave only you, it's not you've not unleashed everything you've got, to like share. And most of us will just tend to like cut so that we don't waste or spend so much time. So when you say couples don't share, like everybody have said, most people don't know how to handle trauma. They don't know how to communicate. If they are empathetic enough, they'll be able to see reasons with the other party. But like Elder Leslie said, men, they don't know how to handle issues. They don't know, and they just flare up easily, especially when it comes to a woman's problem. But then they now want the woman to succumb when it's their own problem. It's I don't know why it's like that. I wouldn't say it's ego, but I just think it's just dumb.
Maybe it's what they've been exposed to, what they know.
We've all been exposed to everything. It's just that we built resilience while we grew up. If you talk about boarding school, my parents were in Port Harcourt, I was in Kaduna. Imagine 1992 in Kaduna during the religious riot and all that. We're jumping through fence and we didn't even know our tomorrow. That one alone can traumatize. And because I'm a very good storyteller and I'm very emotional when I tell some stories, it brings tears. Every May we always have the story, and my mom made sure that by the end of the month, once it's either 30th or 31st, nobody should travel. Just stay at home. Let the new month meet you at home. Then you can start traveling. Because May 30th, was it 2002 or 2000? No, 2000 and, was it 2020 or 21? I said, yeah, no. Well, 2000 or thereabout, where I had an accident. And when it got to 30th, I told the story at home and I was crying because I knew I lost an auntie in that accident. In that accident, I could not move, I was like a robot. If you call me, I have to turn like a robot. Those are trauma. But will you now dwell in it? No, you have to move on. So when people generalize it to say, oh, because of what men have gone through, the ladies, we have also gone through things that we just kept quiet. My mom will always say there are some secrets that you die with. It's not everything you just talk about, because there are issues that nobody will understand it. And since my mom passed, there are some things that when I want to talk, there's nobody that will understand. So I just keep quiet. I don't talk about it. Because there's some deeper way we talk. And when we talk, she's able to relate and she will give advice. But since then, even her siblings, I don't even talk to them because they have no use. They are of no use to any of us. So if I'm going to talk about trauma, it's going to be a personal thing. Because if I want to talk about work-based trauma, that one is not. But when you talk about personal things, that's when you hit it, and probably at that point you get healed. Because the more you talk about things, or the more you cry, like Leslie said, those people cried, they got healed. But some people don't think, they feel it's weakness to cry. And that's why our men grew up not crying. They just bottle up things, and at the end of the day, they're all messed up. So there's a lot of things that couples don't talk about, because one, they feel the other party is not matured enough to handle it. It's just like the word of God. There are some things you talk about in the Bible. You'll be like, this person I'm even talking to, does he or she understand what I'm talking about? When we talk about Joseph's story, when Joseph turned and wept, if it was me after crying, I will not even look at you. You know, our mind is different. But you know, he wept and he still forgave them. It when my mom started telling us Joseph's story, you think she was there. Hey God, the way she would describe it, even when they told Jacob that come, it seems Jacob will find Joseph, and Jacob was like, Benjin one, kingship has reached our hand, let's go to Egypt, you know, not knowing that they were going to face another thing there. So imagine, okay, look at Potiphar lying, saying that Joseph wanted to rape her. And she knows the truth. Do you think she will ever discuss the thing to Pharaoh to say she was lying? She will never. She will not say that. So there are some secrets, because she does not know how Pharaoh will handle it, because at first, what happened to Joseph? He was in prison. So imagine Potiphar now coming to tell Pharaoh that she lied. What would be her own judgment? So sometimes you don't know the reaction of your party. And if you might end up, some people say, well, if the marriage will end, may end. But you know, some like us, they don't know how to handle it, and they'll just end it up like that. But some people know how to handle things, and they will now talk, like just a hug. Because you don't know, like that woman, she needed that hug. She needed a shoulder to cry onto. People that were raped, but they cannot tell anybody. They are just holding it. Sometimes I watch this girl Easy on Facebook. The way she talks, I could see bitterness in her, that she was sent to Italy for prostitution. And her husband knows about it, because she had to open up and say, this is why I came to abroad. I not come for greener pasture. They brought me for prostitution in Italy. How she found her way, grew, and came to England, you know, it's her personal journey. But now she can talk about it. So when she's really, really brutal about some issues that are happening in Nigeria, or things that are happening here, I don't blame her. When she talk about CEO, the blessing and all that, I'm like, this girl, she's talking out of experience. And people just think she just talk. She's talking out of bitterness. This girl has gone through trauma. And the only way she can express herself is just to talk. So sometimes you don't judge book by its cover. Don't just assume that, oh, she they talk too much. She too they do. You don't know why she they do. Maybe that do now she they use the cover body. You don't know. Because there's a lot of things that governs this trauma of a thing. It brings depression. It brings hopelessness, loss of interest, shame, chronic pain, insomnia. That's a lot of things that this trauma can bring for people. But people just bottle up things. So in marriage, it's not everything. If you want your marriage to last, just let it be. And start dishing, like me, before we go married, I always ask the why. Why? My battery is going down. I always ask why. So why did this one? So why did your marriage end? What happened? What, you know? And, you know, we talked. You talk and you find out why. So even in that why, that's, oh, this is the reason why it ended. You as a person that you're starting a new one, you try to make sure that you don't, bring that memory back. But some of us, when they tell us their weaknesses, we now use it against them. So most people don't even want to talk. They're like, you know what? Because tomorrow will come, wallahi, they will use it against you, whether you like it or not. My gender, we can use things. Once you tell us something, we are waiting for one day that we will just, we will just, you, and it's so bad. I don't know why we do it to ourselves. Even at work, it's we. I don't know if it's the skin color that makes us that bad, or I
Don't
don't
get me
know.
started, though.
I don't understand, but God will help us. So in essence, there are some secrets people just die with. Just don't need to discuss it. But sometimes it's good to discuss. If you're brave enough, you just discuss it and let the worst happen. That's it.
Okay, thank you for that. So, second or first, which one again?
Second, let's go second.
So, what fears might prevent someone from acknowledging their own trauma to themselves? Like,
Well, they don't want confrontation. They don't want to be ridiculed. Because if let me go personal, I know you guys know maybe half of my story now. By the time we finish insights, my whole story will be on insight.
we start publishing inside
Ah,
magazine.
before we did our wedding, I went to my auntie because I have two aunties, my mom's sibling. One was in my auntie's friend's house, the most senior. So we went there. That's the one I grew up with, and that's the one that's supposed to be like a mother to me, but she's not. So me too, I just distance myself, do my own thing. So when I got there, I did as if I didn't know she was there. When I saw her, obviously I pulled the surprise. Wow, which time you come? He said it's been around for the past 3 years. I said, wow. Then I went with my husband to be there. I said, well, see who I want marry, this, that. Me, I'd already sent them message, sent them the invitation, and I knew I was going to see them.
Okay.
So when I went to see her, the next day, the next time I went, I didn't go with my husband. I went alone. So she said, oh, why did I send the invitation? I did not call first. I had to send invitation first. I said, is there protocol for that? If I send invitation or I call first, but when I send invitation, did I not call? I said, I called. I said, but you did that 2-3 months ago. My grandmother was doing birthday. It's as if she was doing the birthday next week. They sent us invitation this week. So if we were to fly from UK to Nigeria, how would we have done it? That means you guys had already planned something, and then you're sending it to us. What's the point? I said, well, that's notwithstanding. She talk, go here, talk, go there.
I see you.
So myself, I now brought my own anger. I said, you've been in this country for 3 years plus. My son lost his dad. The boy you call your Romeo lost his dad. You never one day called me to say, Sue, where are you? Bring my son to me. And you want me to treat you as a mother. How? How? It's not done. I cannot. And I reminded her the way she treated me, flogging me, telling me to call son of Jacob and all that. By the time I tabled everything, she was almost in tears. She said, so you hold all these things for mind. I said, I hold them because I never heal. I've seen the other side of life. If you're in this country, I'm sure you for day prison by now. Because you were really mean to me. It's not as if we did anything wrong. There was nothing. I don't know whether my mama used us as a collateral or she used us as slave for now. It's not nice. By the time I finished, I apologized. She apologized. We hugged. No problem. Now I went to the younger one's place.
Thank you.
As soon as they saw me, she did as if she didn't see me. Then because I went with her friend, when we wanted to start talking, the son came in. So I told the son to excuse us. She said, no, why would he? This is somebody I'm older than with 20 years. want to join our talk. So I left him. I didn't say much. So then we started talking, and this boy was raising his voice, talking, shouting, open the door, I should get out of their house. This is a boy that stayed in my house when they were building their house. This is a boy I took care of when he was 6. That was when I came to this country.
That's some trauma there.
And then the question he now asked, how long does it take to mourn? I said, wow. I said, oh, really? You know, I recorded everything they said. I recorded everything and I sent it to my siblings. My brother was really furious. I said, thank God you did not go with me because blood for roll that day. I didn't want to do anything because I knew I was driving back nearly 2 hours back. So I said, me will leave my house nearly. I said, now me come tell you. Now I want marry Abi. In my mind, I said, as you they see my back, that's the end of it. You will never see me again. You will never see my son. Even the peanut in my car, she took it, I gave her. But, you know, in my own mind, I was already making up my mind.
Oh, okay, Mom Ruthie.
So I just look at it, all those things. Sometimes when I listen to those things, they are very traumatizing. Because I'm like, how can, even when I told one of my cousins, that one was like, how can he say that? I said, no, don't worry, don't fight my battle. Leave it. Just let it be. I said, we have built enough resilience. So don't fight my battle. Allow me to fight my battle. Because I know we'll meet in Nigeria. And when we meet in Nigeria, I'll now show you how long it takes to mourn. Or you think death will not hit your doorstep. It will hit your doorstep. Don't worry. So when you look at all this, you will now, that fear of confrontation. I didn't have that when I went there, that was not what I was expecting, but that was what I got. Do you think I want to now talk about it again with anybody? No. Because I don't know how that person will react. So sometimes, you see, shame. I'm not ashamed of it. My own is just that confrontation. When you are talking, I'm talking. We both want to be heard. You end up not hearing me because I will just keep quiet. I will just mute myself. Because at the end of the day, if you're shouting, I'm shouting, we don't make sense. Nobody will hear each other. And my auntie was vibrating, shouting. I said, see, you will get BP. If you fall here now, you don't die. And life will move on. So I don't understand all this. Your sister died. You're telling her children, waiting, join us. Don't die. And you think it's normal to say such words. If they say that to your children, how do you think you will feel? So people don't understand it when they dish out words in times of confrontation. You don't know how the second party will be able to handle grief or bereavement. You might handle it very well. Some people don't know how to handle it. And at the end of the day, they are messed up. And now you will now start confronting, shouting, reminding them. That's why I don't like going to see my grandmother. Because if I go and see her, I'll start crying. Because I remember all the good times that we spent together. So sometimes that confrontation is a no-go area for some people. They just break down. It brings more trauma to them. So they end up not talking about it. Next.
So the last one is, how can individuals identify whether their reaction, is coming from present circumstance or past wound? Say husband and wife are having issues and, just flares up. Something has been triggered because of past wound, or is what is actually happening with you and your husband right now you're dealing with? How do you identify what's triggered or what's happening?
Well, one, you need to know your triggers. We all have triggers, no matter how spiritual we are.
I see you.
No matter how spiritual we are, we have triggers. If you like, even Jesus said, he had trigger. When he got into the temple, he saw them selling and buying. Carry came, flog all. Come on, get out of this place. So we all have triggers. no matter how spiritual we are. There are some things that somebody will say. It's either it's taking you back to history or it's taking you to the future. It's now left for you to know that balance, to know when to stop. Before, you see me, let me go raw. If I'm doing la 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 la, and you smack me on my bum, I will turn and slap you back. Because I remember somebody slapping me and it just triggers me. I had to work on myself and say, come now, play they play. And that Debbie, I know saying that this kind
This
of
one is serious matter with laughter. Don't mind them.
So I had to work on myself to tell myself that come, you just switch off. So instead, I had to talk about it and say, come, I don't like being spanked. Even if you spank me, not do it too hard. I feet flare up and my hand will go up. So
Your reflex has been programmed.
that is it. So I had to tame myself and talk to myself.
That's
Now, what is happening? The past is affecting the future or it's affecting the now.
yeah.
So it happens. If you're not a good historian, future go worry. So you need to deal with history to help the present and the future. But sometimes we shove history under the carpet, thinking that the present, we can deal with it. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't. We all have triggers. A little thing can just... And if you think of the positive side, your ex-boyfriend was very tall, black. You see another tall, black. It will trigger you. You'll be like, oh, wow, is that him? You have that tingle in your body. Like, oh, it's part of trauma or it's part of life. So it's left for us to handle trauma. There's a positive trauma and a negative trauma. So we now have to balance it. You need to know what triggers you or what triggered you in the past so that when it's coming to the future, you are able to hit and handle it properly. If you don't, like what Shan used to say, even me before when I used to drive, when I'm driving, I will say, what if somebody just hit me from behind? Wow, how will I react? All those stupid, because I've had accident before. So I'm like, if I'm driving beside trailer, I'm like, guy, I won't do that if I were you. Just stay on your lane, let me mind my lane. And if I'm going on top flyover, if I look down, my intestine will be inside my mouth. My tummy will just do, I'll feel like, because I'm scared of heights. So I don't stay at the edge of flyover. I stay in the middle.
Yeah, you were going bungee jumping,
You and who?
Me
Let
and
me choose another partner now because that one hot air balloon and all those bullshit. Sorry.
girls time out.
Yeah, we'll
Go
find
and jump.
something better. You
Go
want me
and jump from aeroplane and land in London Square.
It was one of my wishes, but after a while, I cannot. No, me and heights, I even had to live on the 6th floor to see if I can deal with that height. Like when I stand there, my leg is shaking, all my intestine.
You'll be
I don't-
sweating.
and I have a patient that jumped from 6th floor. Sometimes I look at him and say, how did you do it? What his own is trauma. He just feels hopeless.
Wow.
So there are some things that trauma can lead you to, but we need to handle the trauma well. Otherwise, you will become my patients. Thank you all for the gifts and everything. God bless you.
Amen. And you too. Thank you so much for your contributions. My goodness. Again, I dare say, if any part of this discussion is triggering for you, a reaction you never thought, still there, please do reach out. Let's find time to talk about these things and process it such that it will really be a thing of the past. Thank you so much again, Susan. Say your own was driving on Humber Bridge. My heart entered my mouth. In fact, let me not share. But thank you so much. Some people are afraid of heights, so maybe because of a trauma. Maybe once upon a time they were not afraid of height, and something happened, and all of a sudden they become afraid of height. It's something you might have to overcome, and sometimes, I don't know who was even sharing, they will have dreams like they're falling, and it became so traumatic, and they're always scared to sleep, insomnia setting, a whole lot. So traumas really has to be dealt with. Otherwise, it always has its way of coming back to disrupt your life. So God will help us. Thank you so much, Susan, once again. Debbie, we're now back to you before we come to our elder of the day. Mommy Ruthie, I'll try and bring you up if you can come back up and see if we can still, hopefully, maybe we'll let it come back by the time Elder Kenneth is giving his submission. So keep trying, please. I don't know, sometimes it happens. You're just flung out of the box. So if you're in the box, please help me be tapping. I know all of us, in fact, almost all of us have been tapping since, so that, I don't know, whatever the technical issue is. So Mommy Ruthie, apologies. I'll try and bring you back again, or you can send an invite, please. Debbie, on mute, please. Are you still doing chaka 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 chaka? Debbie.
Oh wow.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, it's your time to give your submissions now. We can hear you. I said it's your time to give your submissions now.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to say anything about unresolved trauma. I mean, I know our focus today is on marriage, but these things are individual, really. But because it comes into that marriage space. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Yeah. So, yes, I don't know, one, question two, question three, and you don't even have to answer all three, but, if you want to answer all three, I mean, by all means as well. So, which question do you want me to pose first?
Number 2.
So number 2 is, what fears might prevent someone from acknowledging their trauma?
Oh, that one. That's the question. Okay. I think when it comes to acknowledging stuff and sharing it, mostly it's just the fear of you don't know how the other party will see you afterwards.
Okay.
The fear of judgment.
True.
See, when it comes to trauma, a lot of people are carrying trauma every day, and people are not empathetic. The reason a lot of people would rather keep their mouth shut, not talk about it, is mainly because at the end of the day, the person you want to talk to, you don't even know. Some people, it's not their fault. It's still part of their own trauma too.
Nice. Okay.
It's still part of their own trauma too. Because in the first place, the person that spoke to you about themselves didn't ask you to help them share. But because you too, you have your own problem. And you have not healed. You have helped them to CNN it. So at the end of the day, a lot of people are careful to talk. And especially if they can't even afford to talk to a professional, they rather keep quiet. There are some of us that talk to ourselves in the mirror. that some of us talk. There was a time in my life where I talked to myself in the mirror. I tell myself the problem. I stand in front of that mirror. I cry it out. After crying, I play some music. I dance it out. Depends on how the thing they do me. Depends on the day. It's true. But a lot of people don't know how to even do that. Not because they don't want to heal. It's just because at the end it's hard. And acknowledging trauma in all it takes it takes light, it takes on wisdom for somebody to even, a lot of people don't even know, they don't even know that they have trauma. They don't even know that something is wrong with them. And I have a slogan when it comes to marriage matter. I have a slogan. I always say, until you are healed, I think they should be doing trauma tests apart from all the blood tests they do for people for marriage. Be laughing there. Okay.
I needed to get her out of my system. Yeah, go on.
I believe, my opinion, apart from all the blood tests they do, all the what is it called?
Genotype.
Genotype, psychology, gbogbo that they do for marriage. Trauma test should be done because a lot of people, I think if until you acknowledge what your trauma is, you can't fully heal. I don't think one can fully heal from it, but you can learn to manage it. Until you get to a stage where you learn to manage it, where that trauma is not now the one ruling your life, I don't think you should marry.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes, because if you did not heal that thing, you are that there are some trauma that I'm talking based on, there are some trauma that are damaging, and because exactly that's why I said a lot of people don't even know that they are traumatized. They don't even know. And if you notice, for a lot of people that don't acknowledge it, if you check the children that come out from those kind of people, they have transferred that trauma to the next generation in another way. And this is what this thing does. I always call it 2.0. The one that is doing you is 1.0. The one your child is carrying is 2.0. So until you acknowledge, I am saying my own opinion now. It might not be true, but I'm saying what I've said to myself and what I have done personally. Which is why sometimes I was saying to somebody one day, I said I think they called me for my bed and they were praying. And the next prayer was, oh, when it comes to marriage, that I said, please, let's change the prayer points to something else. He was like, what? I said, if they marry, even me, I cannot marry me now. Even me. I can't marry myself now. Why? Because I know there are still a lot of things for me to work on. Because you will see some people, you will see some behavior that some things that is not even up to what should get them upset, they've already scattered everywhere. They've already, that's why I say, I'm not saying until you are fully healed, until you have gotten to a stage where you can manage it. That the whatever has happened to you is no more controlling your action, controlling your view of life. Because you will transfer it. You will transfer it. And I'm sorry, a trauma that does not heal is even toxic to the body. It is toxic to the body. And you are transferring that now to your next generation. Why will you do that to yourself? But let's say you are now married. Biko, try all your possible best to find out what is going on, how to deal with it. Seek help. You don't need to see, like I said earlier, the reason a lot of people don't talk is because people are not empathetic.
Enough.
People are not empathetic. People are not kind. So because of that, you don't need to talk to anybody that you know that can, what is it called, share your story. If you can afford it, please go for a professional help. That way you'll be able to find out what is wrong, what the problem is, how to work on it, so that it will stop controlling you. The reason you are not talking is the fear of judgment. Now you don't want your spouse to see you as a weakling. You don't want this person to see you as you are not strong, like as emotional wreck, as da da da, as da da da. I get that, but the damage is more than what you don't want them to see you as. The damage is more than what you don't want them to see you as. Is it not? It's better
Yeah.
that you now speak to a professional. If you can't talk to your spouse, you can't talk to a friend. Seek a professional help. So what's question number 2?
So number 2, yeah, is just the
That's
one
number
with,
2.
yeah.
Okay, what's question number 3?
Why do you think couples avoid discussing that trauma? Maybe between themselves or discussing it.
Maybe they are trying to avoid see finish. Yeah,
So in English, see finish is what, please?
disrespect,
Oh. Okay.
maltreatment, different things. See, like I said, if you are the reason I said if you have not recognized your trauma, you've not worked on it, I don't advise people, I don't think people should get married, is because if you have worked on yourself, when you meet somebody that has not worked on their own, you'll be able to tell. You might not be able to tell exactly what is wrong with them, but you'll be able to tell that there is something wrong. You'll be able to help them if they want you to help them, or you'll be able to adjust the relationship.
Thank you,
You'll
Leslie.
be able to help each other. But let's say you are now married. If you can, like what Leslie said, there are loads of people, not just men. There are some women that you won't see them cry.
Yeah. Well,
Not just men.
it's more from the men,
It's
really.
more for the men, but not just men. There are still some women that you will not see them cry, and it's not because they don't want to cry. It's just that they don't want to be seen
As weak.
as weak. And I'm sorry, expressing your emotions, crying is actually part of strength. Even Jesus cried. So please, let me cry, cried, crew all the cry finish. Lady Susan, it's not really ego. It's actually brainwash. It's not ego. It's brainwash.
Yeah, because that's all they know. Growing up,
Because
everything. So
growing up as a child, why would you tell a child that you are a man,
suck it
you
up.
cannot cry? Asasao. You are a man. You should be the one. You are already telling a 2-year-old boy, a 5-year-old boy, you are a man. You should. It's not healthy.
Debbie, the funny thing is, whether you were born in a hospital, whether you were born inside water, whether you fell from some, as a man, as a woman, when you were born, you cried.
Exactly.
Tears came, and that organ of the body will always forever be there, and you're not using it. It will
That
come
means
out in
you are trapping
aggression in
toxins.
another way.
That means you are trapping toxin into your body.
Too much. And that doesn't make you macho either. No. So yeah.
So I think it's because they just don't want to see they don't want their partner to see them as the way I'm stressing, as weak, as vulnerable.
Mm.
They are afraid, oh, this person will judge me. This person might not love me anymore. This can change the dynamic of our relationship.
Yeah, it's true. It does happen.
This can change the dynamic because, okay,
It's up logistics and for you.
example of what Lady Susan said. Somebody that was RAPE when they were young. A lot of people don't forget our culture. I'm going back to Africa now. Our culture makes it look like it's you that they RAPE. You are the one at fault because you caused it. Because if you are not mad, why will you be asking somebody that was RAPE, what did you wear? How did you walk? Even you, how did you go there? If something is not wrong with all of us,
Seek the kingdom, I see you.
do you know what damage that has caused?
Yeah.
Because so a lot of people, when they go through anything like that, they now tend to keep quiet, but that thing keeps affecting them. That thing is affecting them. And when they now meet somebody, when it comes to the other room, they don't even want to go near it. The way they behave and everything, the person that one will be wondering, abi she don't love me, abi he doesn't love me, because it's not only women they RAP you. Let's be real with ourselves. It's not only women they RAP. They RAP men too. You'll be wondering what happened. It's trauma response, but they just don't know how to say it.
That's very true.
Because they don't want you
Thank you, Elder Kenneth.
to judge them or see them as maybe a prey or something. So they would rather keep quiet and maintain their cool. So it depends on what causes the trauma. Because in my healing process, I learned that as long as whatever anybody did to me, it's not my shame.
MTK, good evening.
It's not my shame. If you don't want me to, I will say it out. It's before I don't say it out because I'm like, I don't want people to see me like, I don't want this person to judge me. But now I will say it out. If you ask me why did you say it out, my response will be, if you had not wanted me to say it out, if you were too ashamed for that thing to be heard that you did it, you shouldn't have done it. As long as your brain and your medulla oblongata did not join together to tell you that this is shameful, you don't want it's not heard, you can't be heard of, you did it anyways, let me say it anyways. It's my story. It's my story. But a lot of people have been what is it, how do I put it, they've been put in a situation where you can't even say it.
They've been traumatized for their trauma.
Yeah, exactly. There are some men that their wife they beat them. They can't say it out because how do you want us to say it out that a woman beat you? But uncle, if you don't say it out, how will you heal? A woman that they beat, they have shamed her to the extent that she can't even, culture have shamed these people to the extent that they can't even say it out because they don't want to be seen as
weakling.
I think the problem here is the fact that people blame the victim. Is the where I have problem in all this thing is the fact that people, our African culture especially, put the blame on the victim. Like, it's your fault that this thing happened to you. Like,
yes.
And that is unfair. This is why a lot of people choose to keep quiet. And you see somebody that for some reason nothing is wrong with them, but you just hear that they overdose themselves and they buy. It's because a lot of people, it's because they can't say it out what happened to them. They would rather take that route. They would rather take that route because they believe, at least, how did they say this nonsense proverb, that something cover shame, that death cover shame. So that's why a lot of couples don't share their trauma. They just don't want to be. They are just afraid of what would not happen after this person knows what has happened to me, or with this person. Because a lot of people did. Another thing is, a lot of people, especially if they marry an abuser themselves, once you share that somebody abused you before you met them, they take advantage of that. Once they know that somebody did something to you before they met you, they take advantage of that and do the same thing, exact same thing, treat you exact same way that person treats you. So it's out of fear of of we don't know how the person will treat us. That's why a lot of people keep quiet. So is that question 3? Okay, kini question 1.
So, how can individuals identify whether their reactions are coming from the present situation or past wound?
It's when you acknowledge what the problem is. You'll be able to tell. If you acknowledge, until you acknowledge that you have problems, until you acknowledge that there is a problem, that there's a trauma before now, then you'll be able to tell, your reaction is, it's because of that. Then that's where you'll be able to manage it, for it not to rule you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Debbie, for your contribution. Really, thank you. It is well, though. Some people are in denial. Some people don't even know, because it's been years and years, so they buried it, and they feel nothing. One day, something will just happen. It will
A
trigger.
lot of us actually hide that trauma under spiritual problem. Yeah, we hide it under spiritual attack. Yeah.
It is well.
Amen.
Well, thank you. Elder Kenneth, good evening. How are you?
Let's all share the grace and go home. We have heard a lot.
Hey, don't traumatize us with that. We have to offload everything. Everything must be resolved today.
Elder Susan and our Minister of Justice have already said it all, Elder Debbie. In fact, wonderful tonight. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Those on board and everyone in the comment section. What a wonderful night.
Yes.
Indeed. What do you want me to start from? My elders.
Maybe if you feel they have said everything, you do the puzzle for us. This one, your mic is open.
Hey.
Your choice. Do the puzzle or you answer question. Our women have spoken powerfully.
In fact, no. In fact, I've said everything from the very beginning to the last person, which
You
is
don't have one more thing you want to add that nobody have mentioned?
No, I didn't see anything they haven't mentioned, but this is I agree, and indeed, it's affecting marriages today. That even the spouse will not understand. Somebody that they call, this is my flesh of my soul, my bone. You cannot understand, because the person have already been traumatized because of what he went through, maybe by childhood, maybe by growing up, or maybe by what he in the past that he or she don't want to share to anybody. Then one day, all of a sudden, from nowhere, you just trigger something up, like what Susan said. it might just cause another thing that you'll be wondering, is this the person I've been staying with for years? Is this the woman or the man that I'm married? So you know, these things are real. Everything that I say is what we are going through in marriage. We don't pretend. That's why I like it, this insight. We don't pretend. We say it as it, because all of us we are in it, and even though you are married, you're not married, we are in it. We have seen some certain drama and some certain behavior that you wonder, where did it come from? So it's real. So let me go with the puzzle, because I have of the truth, I have nothing to say. I've been listening.
Thank you.
May God bless each and every one of
God
you.
bless you too. Thank you so much.
Spoken.
Okay.
Broken brave.
Three times without laughing.
Please, yeah, I cannot do, even if you see me do one or two, you will think.
Okay, just one time.
Jehovah. Where do I start for? Why me? Why me?
Next time you will come early. Whoever comes early comes into the box first.
Yeah. Let me try once if I can. Okay. Broken brave, barren. Okay. Oh my God.
Okay, take your time. Take your time. Breathe.
Okay. Broken brave, broken brave, barren, but brave bond build better beginning. Broken brave, barren, but brave bond build better beginning.
Oh, do not finish us with. Please don't bite yourself. It's okay. We are okay.
You understand? Let me not bite my tongue. Good night, everyone. Have a wonderful, blessed week ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, God bless you, sir. Wow. It's been a huge one tonight, and thank you all so much for sharing for sharing your insight really to this topic. Remember, on Thursday we talk about marriage issues, and these are issues sometimes we don't even think about, but it's affecting. You're hungry, Debbie. Okay. Elder Leslie, we're waiting.
No, it's that Canada caused my hunger.
Okay, except for that. It was on Monday that we should have resolved something. It almost be like you people are traumatizing us now.
I was not here on Monday, so please don't bring that one to me.
No. Okay, no, let's leave it. We're patiently waiting, so it's fine. It's okay. It is fine. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions today. Honestly, God bless you all. Thank you. Yeah, we found out reason why couples tend to shy away from discussing trauma. So if you're there and your spouse decides to be vulnerable with you, are you bold enough to hold that space with them? Not hold it with them, hold it for them. And please do not traumatize the already traumatized person, because that's like adding salt to injury. You don't want them to be re-traumatized. And if you're open and honest enough to say, look, I cannot hold this space, you can signpost them to a counselor and be there, supporting from the background, because I know some traumas are quite big, some are life-changing, to be honest, and our spouses might not even have what it takes to hold a space. So whichever way, we need to be gracious to one another, but be empathetic enough to help still somehow the best way you can. And if it's too much, like I said, get professional help. Do not be what's the word now? Do not shy away from that either, because there are traumas and there are traumas. But whichever way, we need help in dealing with them sometimes. Get that help. Don't be ashamed. Get the help you need so that you can offload for good those past wounds. Let them go so you can start living today and for your future. And remember, all of these traumas we're talking about shapes our mindset, the way we react, the way we think, the way we feel, the way we behave around, other people as well. And sometimes even we will go home and think, why did I do that? How did that? But it's because of those unresolved traumas that is guarding the way we behave. So we have to deal with them. Some is healing we need, some is forgiveness you need, some is even acknowledging, instead of burying it deep down, we need to acknowledge them, and then healing can start. And then we intentionally address it, we intentionally manage it, because you've lived through it. You may never ever forget it, but when you remember or something triggers you, you're not agitated, you're not anxious, you're not self-isolating, you're not doing all of these negative things we've mentioned. And again, you can always pray as well. When you do your work, don't mind, not just prayer alone. Prayer without works is dead. You do all the work, whatever you have to do, see the counselor and all. Above all, pray that God will help you to be free, to be whole again. That is where I'm going to leave it tonight. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Quite a number of people have stopped by. Thank you, Leslie, for your contribution. Susan, Shan, thank you so much. Debbie, thank you. Elder Kenneth, thank you so much. MTK, you came up, I don't know. Mama Ruthie as well. Thank you all so much for being part of Insight tonight. I wish us well. It's Thursday, tomorrow is Friday. Let's enjoy the weekend. And by the grace of God, we'll be back on Monday, where we'll face more individual issues. We'll talk more about that and how to cope, really, and keep enjoying the essence of living. Thank you all so much. God bless you. I appreciate every single one of you. And we'll be back on Monday by the grace of God. Do have a splendid night rest. Except Debbie wants to do the puzzle before we go. We are
I have
finished
a question
officially.
for I have a question for you.
For
I have
me.
a question for you. Yes.
Oh yeah, give me the question.
Are you set out to traumatize me this evening?
Why?
So Elder Leslie is there. Shan is there. You did not mention their name. Why me?
Because you're still actively, you're still active. You're more still active. And and these things you cannot be, what's the word now? Okay, so let's do it this way tonight, so that I'll be lenient with you, because I'm not here to traumatize anybody. We're here to untraumatize anyone, really. So you can do it 2 times and then pass the baton to somebody. Let's laugh before we go. Let's laugh some more. Thank you, Elder Kenneth, for attempting that puzzle. Thank you.
Do it 2 times and pass the baton.
Yes, call the next person.
Wow, this is fun. Lady Susan, I was
You want me
thinking
to repost it?
I
Please,
should invite
I'm
you to
working. You're working in the morning. What has that got to do with a tongue twister?
I was thinking I should invite you to what's it called? Tom Park. Let's go on the ride.
Is it high or low?
Anyone?
Is it high ride or low ride? Because we are mindful of ourselves. Oh, we don't want to be traumatized. Oh.
Okay.
Go for it. Go for it.
Broken beliefs breed barriers, but brave bonds build better beginnings. Broken beliefs breed barriers, but brave bonds build better beginnings.
Hey, well done. Pass the baton.
Okay, I'm passing the baton to Lady Susan. Don't go and sleep. Let's pass it to Lady Susan, since she don't want to go to the ride with me.
Oh, this is punishment for her.
No, it's not punishment. She should use it as practice, so that when I invite her, she will know what to expect.
Your adrenaline, no, should be pumped. In fact, the fact that she said it now, did she run? Leslie has run away, oh.
Why?
Let's find him back. A13, Gracias. Thank you so much. I've been bringing you up, but I don't know. Maybe TikTok is not even allowing you. 813. Thumbs up, please. Rose, I see you.
You know, I went
Where were you going, Elder Leslie?
I went to one of these rides last week Saturday.
Ah, how was it? Family is calling you.
It was a tunnel one.
Was there
You see, as soon
water or dark?
dark.
Wow.
As soon as the thing swelled into, I was like, "Oh, Jesus, Jesus, who sent me message?"
But say the truth, you were screaming, Abby.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Kind of, you were screaming.
Not out of fear though.
Out of excitement.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first scream was out of fear because I didn't know what I was expecting. You see, the second one, I was like, okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Okay.
But I think once I manage to do one, I want to do the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just found out what's the fear all about? Let's try one more. Let's try before you know.
That's it.
You've gone on almost all the rides. So you didn't throw up at all.
No. I've gone on one ride in Blackpool. Is it Blackpool? What's this beach? Not Blackpool. It's in London. You see, when that thing threw all of us up like that, I was like, wow. A girl we went with, the girl was like, Jesus, I'll pay all my tithes. I'll fulfill all my.
Really, confessions.
I was like, what?
Even me, maybe I'll have to this bungee jump. I've been talking about it for the longest time, but in my heart, I'm like, hey, Father Lord, I'll have to go on 7-day dry fast.
It's fun, though. It's fun.
Hey.
Why you like it?
I like to watch videos of people doing it, but for me to go and actually do it, maybe in my sleep. Maybe just maybe in my sleep.
Oh yeah, let's hear Susan up. Okay, Leslie.
You all can miss me with the bungee jumping. You do the bungee, not the jumping. See, Susan ran away now. She ran away. She's not. What box was she in? 1, 2, 3, 4. She's not tall enough in the box. Abby, not high enough. She don't run no. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Can you imagine? It's okay. Broken beliefs breed barriers, but brave bonds build better beginnings. Broken beliefs breed barriers, but brave bonds build better beginnings. I've done it now. Yay. Shan has shined herself away. You know the time difference. So it's past midnight.
Oh.
So yeah, she's probably gone to sleep now. At least she's tried.
Okay, let me do this.
Do you want me to repost it?
No, I can see it.
Okay.
Okay. So, broken beliefs breed barriers, but brave bonds build better beginnings. Broken beliefs breed barriers, but brave bonds build better beginnings.
Okay, well done. Try small. Let me just be gracious. Let's see. Even let me be gracious towards Elder Kenneth. The fact that he even tried to attempt it. Thank you all so much. Yeah, let's go and sleep. Enjoy the night, enjoy the weekend, and we'll be back next week by the grace of God. Yes, thank you all so much. 813 gracias, I see you. Thank you. Good night. God bless you all. Good night, everyone. Elder Kenneth, thank you so much. Debbie, thank you. Enough, we'll pack the machine. Go and sleep, please.
You said?
I said pack the machine up, or is enough. Go and sleep.
That's the thing. There are some patterns that once you lay it out, if you don't finish it and come back to it, it's more or less like you are starting all over again.
Is it going to blow away a biscuita or what?
You have to do the math again to balance it.
I
So
see.
that's how I work. Once I start the pattern, I just want to finish it, put it to where I know that I don't need to start all over again. I can continue from where I stopped.
I hope you're not planning to do overnight.
Oh, I did that last week Friday. I did that Monday. I did that when.
Don't
As in when I
traumatize
say
me on
overnight,
this
I mean
sleep.
all through the night. All through the night.
Hey, so you not sleep during the day?
That's the problem. I'm not really a night. I'm not really a sleeper when it comes to night. I sleep in the morning, earlier in the morning, and if I don't sleep between 6 and 8, that sleep is gone. So
Wow. So how many hours of sleep do you get a day?
it depends.
On?
Sometimes, if I'm not working now, once we finish inside like this, I go to bed. By the time I lay down by 12:45, by 1:30, 2 o'clock, I will sleep.
And you will wake up 6 in the morning and be what time?
You get it?
Ha. Hey, you know how many times we've been warning each other here, self-care. Even me, I'm talking to
Once
myself.
I now what I do now is once I wake up at 6 or 7, I tell myself, Debbie, we are not awake. Lay down. So I would lie down there and
Everybody,
be
thank
there.
you for joining or for coming back when we're
That's why I didn't
going.
join on Monday, because that Monday I didn't even see TikTok at all. I didn't even see my phone.
Wow.
I was wow.
Take it
Even my,
easy, oh. Body not be firewood, oh. Take it easy.
no, it's just for this period. It's just a project we are working on. Once we finish, everybody can rest
All
and
right.
work normal.
God will give you the grace to finish well.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. All right. Once again, good night.
Everybody have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you. Thank you, Ebony. Good night. Let me see. One or two still there.
Good
Is
night. Thank you very
everything?
much. And keep
Thank
you all doing
you.
very good work. Keep up the
Thank
hard work.
God. You all are making it the good work, really. Thank you all so much. Yeah, God bless. Enjoy the weekend. Please, guys, let's let our hair down. Because I intend
Oh,
to.
that Leslie, I didn't come on Monday. You didn't get back to me. Oh, Abi has run.
On Monday. What happened on Monday?
No. We had a discussion last week Thursday.
Yes, we did.
What discussion was this again? I am trying to remember. I've
Even
got two
Mark.
meetings.
I don't know where Mark has disappeared to.
Oh, that's what.
Baritone has
I said I
disappeared.
will give you people dates now. Calm down. I will give you before August. We will try and get dates. We're gonna have a good time
I
out.
would have grown old though.
Share is beans
Like,
and
I don't know if there
chicken.
will be any teeth left in my mouth. Hey,
No worries.
some people are traveling. No.
I said before August now, because August is our own time we are out. So before August, we go make sure say we go do one solid day like this. Just
And
come
that
prepared.
I hope you know that we are not the only one hearing you.
Share is inside people now.
Even TikTok
I'm
can hear
expecting
you.
like
TikTok
I
can
think
hear you.
like
Would be nice.
And thank God they record this thing, so we have
the
it on
venue the
record.
venue will be reviewed to the hostess, and then she will find out how she can share to you lot when the time comes.
Okay. I am waiting patiently.
So
We all are waiting patiently. Elder Kenneth. So you might have to
no
fly
shaking, no
down.
shaking, no shaking, no shaking, no
All right.
shaking here.
We trust anyways. No worries. Debbie, let's be
It is
coming
well.
down like this. I mean, we've waited this long, so how much more? Couple of months, yeah?
We will calm down.
Exactly.
God will make it happen.
In
I
fact,
shall pray. I've not started another project before you do this thing, because I'm saying it now.
hey, don't worry. You give us our day now. How about?
No wahala.
Okay. And God will take care of the rest.
Yes, so
All right. So enjoy your
no
night.
wahala. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Ebony, good night. Thank you all. Good night, everybody.
Let us light us be there.